What is up, everyone? So yeah, that emote that Beastly made is getting a lot more use than I thought. Hey Persona, thank you for the resub for 16 months. I appreciate it. So update for those that were here last night. I kind of fixed the black bars. I just had to download a bunch of third-party programs to force the game to upscale to a resolution that actually matches the UI. So that's a thing because the game doesn't know how to match their UI to their own resolution because multi-dollar company. Please understand. Thank you, Looking Glass, for the 100 bits. So I've had a heck of a time thanks to this update. Not only so I switched to Samsung DeX. That was probably the most helpful thing because Samsung DeX allows you to forcibly upscale apps. Thank God. So that lets me make the app be on like a screen that actually fits the UI size because the devs can't do that on their own because it's too complicated. And the problem is like the way I'd have to record something through Samsung DeX was not supported by my editing program, so I had to update that to a much newer version which cost several $100s, so that was great. But I think I've got everything working now. It took a while. I'm curious to see how the stream looks. I wonder if Samsung DeX and all these other things I'm doing will actually make it look better. It might, I'm not sure. The only downside now is there's a little bit of delay because this is mirroring my phone just like before, but it's basically using my computer as the the screen, right? So this is like the actual screen. My phone is still doing the work, but it's using my computer as the display. And so it's basically having to convert like the commands through HDMI and all this other shit. So there's a little bit of like latency because unlike Flow, I can't use my phone as like the control method, even though I'm using my phone. So it's a little awkward. So we'll see what that's like. Let's see here. What do we want to do? There's no events going on right now, so we can kind of do whatever the hell we want. Let me get some music in here. But yeah, so I think the best way of describing this update is like, on most phones, yeah, I'm with you, Arjuna, it sucks. On most phones and devices, the UI is not going to be properly scaled to whatever resolution you have. So, you're going to have like the master portrait just floating there, right? It's like, it's obvious where the UI is supposed to stop, it just doesn't, right? And you get a bunch of extra, floating nonsense. And like, even though I'm forcing the UI right now, or forcing my screen size to be a resolution that kind of goes with the UI, you can still see where it's supposed to stop and it just doesn't, so it still doesn't look good. Basically, and I've seen other games do this in the past. I haven't seen this in a while because most devs don't do this shit anymore. But they're basically trying to cheat, right? They're trying to make the game seem like it has resolution support for whatever device you have without actually giving the game proper resolution support and like resolution options, right? Because most phones, it still doesn't have a proper resolution for. It doesn't. What it's doing is it's keeping the exact same resolution it had before, and it's just adding filler onto your screen until it fills up the screen. Like, that's literally what they're doing. And this is something you saw a lot of like shoddy PC ports do back in the day and all that. You don't really see it anymore, but it's like a way of trying to make it look like you have resolution options that support your screen without actually having resolution options that support your screen. And it's just kind of sad because, there's such a large game now and all that they shouldn't have any problems. Yeah, it would truly take a while, and this is something you'd have to be working on behind the scenes for a while, and then you put the update out all at once. Where, you have to change a lot of stuff because this game was never designed to be, the core game was not designed to have all these resolution options because they didn't plan ahead, old game, blah blah blah. And so to actually adjust the game, the UI, and some of like the art assets and things like that to actually fit the newer phones resolution options and stuff, it would take a while to fix that on the back end, right? But a lot of devs actually bothered to do that because it's worth it to future-proof your game like that. I used on Discord the example of Blizzard. I'm not a big Blizzard fan, but like, if you like them or not, like if you look at their game World of Warcraft, when it first came out, it was crazy old. It was for, piece of shit monitors back in the day. It did not have the the infrastructure to support like, you know, modern stuff at all. But over the years, behind the scenes, they've done lots to that game and its code and like the kind of support that it has. So it does work on like newer monitors and has proper resolution options and the UI scales appropriately and things like that, right? So, and it's because they're a very successful game and you would expect a game like that to have that kind of polish. And I think it's fair to expect that kind of polish from this game, but it just doesn't, right? They literally can't even do basic stuff like scaling their UI to your resolution size. And then, yeah, anyone that's got a weird phone size, have fun when you NP. It's always gonna look great. Yeah, I'm curious, Arjuna, what it looks like on your end, because some people happen to have devices that just have like their phone is the resolution size of the, like what the game wants, and so it doesn't have any problems. But that's not most people. You know, most people are gonna, you know, it's gonna have this filler crap to fit the screen. Then when you NP, it's gonna go back to the game's, you know, actual resolution. Expecting things was your first mistake, apparently. Other thing that they added was these blue moon cells. That's what they look like. They literally look like moon cells. We're just casually collecting moon cells. My tablet isn't supported with the update at all. Oh god. I've heard a few people say that. What does it? Can you at least play the game? I would assume. I'm hoping it's not like that broken. But yeah, these moon cells that they're giving out now basically give you a free command spell res, but only in story mode and only up to Lost Vault 5.1. So you can't use them in Lost Vault 5.2. I don't like this change, although, you know, I can just not use them and that's fine. The reason I don't like it is the philosophy behind it. It's just, again, they know it's like hard to get into the game and it's hard to catch up and get the mats that you need and all these things. And instead of doing, just like with the resolution option, instead of putting in the work to adjust the game's resolution and have proper resolution options like, you know, every other fucking game, and so instead of like rebalancing the early game so it's more fun and it like teaches players better and gives them the rewards they need to kind of catch up, instead of doing that, they're just like, oh no, just use the Balo system to summon, you know, Kualter or Hercules to just blow through everything. And if you somehow get stuck on like Gwaine and Camelot, you know, just use one of these free reses and you'll win anyway. That's what they're doing, right? It's obvious what they're doing. That's what Vandictus did, and that was terrible for the game. Because what they're trying to say is, you know, just blow through all the old content and catch up to the new stuff where we actually put an effort into the game, where the story's better and the content's better, right? Like, just hurry up and get to the good stuff, right? But people don't want to do that, right? No one wants to start a game. They don't know the later content's better than the early content. They're not even going to know that, let alone care, right? You want them to start playing the game and have a good experience right off the bat. Not, oh, yeah, let me just blow through all the old content and get to the new relevant stuff. That's terrible, right? Like, they need to change the early game of this game. They need to cut out the filler. They need to, you know, make their rewards better from, like, clearing main story stages so you get ascension nats and XP to kind of keep things on a smooth progression curve, right? There's no reason for them not to do that kind of thing. Yes, it would take effort, it would. Like, changing things in the game, like for the UI to properly support these resolution options and actually changing some of the art assets and stuff to fit those things, that would take work. It would. You know, cutting out a lot of the filler. They might even have to get Time Moon to rewrite a few parts of the story to cut out some of the filler stages and stuff, right? Like, their work would be needed to do these things, but it's necessary to future-proof the game, right? You need these things, right? Because the game looks you cannot tell me right now that the game does not look unprofessional, right? On most phone screens, the game looks unprofessional, right? It looks like, oh, lol, they couldn't get their resolution to match most phones, so they just added this filler crap. Like, that's obviously what they're doing, right? That doesn't look professional. And then I've been told, I didn't look, but I've been told if you go into story mode, all the, like, story text and everything still doesn't go with the new UI, like, your resolution option, so that it goes back to the way it was. You have the blue bars again all of a sudden, just like with NPs and stuff. It's just like, what the hell, man? But I want this game to do well. That's the thing. Why I'm annoyed by these things is because it's them making very bad decisions. It's them doing band-aid fixes that let them appear like they're improving the game without actually really improving the game. They're not putting in the work. They're not laying the foundation to, you know, make the game better in the long run. It's not healthy for a game to tell new players, oh yeah, just blow through all this content now and catch up to the new stuff, then you get to the real game. You know, that'll only take you like 17 hours, right? Like, nobody wants to do that, right? You want to play the game and have a good time right off the bat, right? And they need to focus on those things. And in terms of, like, you know, being supported by more modern devices, they're going to have to get off their ass and change some of this game's code and stuff if they really want this game to keep up with the times. You know, I'm over here you know, I love FGO, right? The core gameplay I like a lot. I love the boss fights. I love making videos for it. I like the story a lot. Like, I really like FGO and I want it to succeed, right? But it's very frustrating to me to have like Genshin Impact over there. You know, it's not perfect by any means, and they've done some dumb decisions too, but like the game runs like butter, right? It has proper resolution options. I can literally change the resolution options, so if I want to make a video that like doesn't match my screen size or whatever, I can do that no problem, right? It's a normal video game, right, that I don't have any problems just playing, where FGO makes everything a fucking pain in the ass because they don't want to keep up with the times, right? It's annoying. All right, let's. I haven't tested, so I'm using, like I said, I'm using Samsung Dex right now. I'm forcibly changing the games to upscale, so my UI doesn't look like trash, and so I can actually, you know, I need to see this, but hopefully, when I NP, it's gonna look the same as like the normal gameplay right now. Because on my, if I was playing through my phone screen, my resolution would actually change every single time I NP and go back to normal gameplay, and that basically made it impossible for me to make videos, right? Because I'd either have to have black bars in the NP or I'd have to have black bars in my gameplay because it'd be switching between the two. So I'm hoping with the way that I've like rescaled the screen size here that I won't have any black, it won't like change when I NP and it'll all look fine like it did before. So let's find a stage we actually want to beat and not one that we want to keep around. I will say I can definitely feel the latency though playing through my monitor instead of my phone. Like I can definitely feel this. There's just a bit of delay when I click things. This would be awful if I was trying to play Arc Knights, right? I'd probably have to go back to Samsung Flow if I wanted to play Arc Knights on stream. The slight delay is, you know, in a turn-based game, it shouldn't make a problem, but if I was playing something like Arc Knights where you need to actually, like, do things in real time, it'd be a problem. Now, I'll give DW a pass if this is a quick band-aid fix and they're planning on properly changing the game resolution. Because this is something that would take a very long time, by the way. Like, you know, truly going through the game and making it actually support different resolution stuff. Because it wasn't future-proof for those things. They'd have to redo quite a bit, right? It takes some time. So if behind the scenes, they're kind of redoing things and, you know, setting things up proper for it to actually have, you know, real resolution options, then fine, right? Like, if in 6 months they actually, you know, make a proper update for this kind of thing, then great. But, I don't think they're doing that. Like, I really don't think they're doing that. Oh yeah, so Arjuna, what's it like on your tablet? I missed your answer there. I was ranting too much. Let's use Ace's Steno for Steno's interlude. Let's see how that goes. God, the first NP I'm gonna test is Steno's. Are you kidding me? Actually, a lot of the more modern games these days have been doing a better job with, you know, UI things and that kind of stuff. So, Arjuna, I'm curious if the update's not supported at all. I'm guessing you still have, you know, blue bars everywhere, but what does the UI look like? I should really bring up Samsung Flow and show people what my phone actually looks like. Because the UI looks so bad for me. It has like everything's like floating while in mid-screen and stuff. It's fucked up. The only reason it doesn't look bad now is because I'm using, like I said, Samsung Dex to change my display size, basically. So just no change at all. I would have preferred that. I would have been happy if mine, because then I wouldn't have had to do all this effort to make videos. Wow, my god, though, I can totally feel this delay when I click things. I also have to play with my mouse now instead of my you know, touch screen, which kind of sucks. They didn't kill George. That's great. Yeah, my screen looks like you used it on the rant stream. Feels bad. From what I've heard, unless you've got a pretty specific like phone size, that's the case. There are some people though that do have phone, like the screen on their phone just happens to, you know, have a ratio with height and width that works. 8 health. Okay, let's not kill one of these guys so they can attack twice. Okay, they're counterclassing Leonidas, so surely they have this. As long as he doesn't buff. So how's the stream look, guys? I'm curious what it looks like on your end compared to what we normally stream. I feel like there's a bit of sound delay. Now, and if I was making a video, they didn't kill Leonidas. These guys are level 24. But yeah, I think if I recorded this for like a video, I would need to twink the audio a bit, because I feel like it's a little bit delayed. What about you all? Like, for me, the sound sounds slightly delayed. I'm curious if the sound is in sync for the stream. Doesn't seem delayed on our end. Well, that's good. I suspect, though, I would, like I said, for a video, I'd have to edit it, but... Alright, let's see. Please don't have... I'm so hoping that I don't... It doesn't... Like, the increase is like totally normal. It should. I'm pretty sure I've set this up properly. Oh, thank God it looks normal. Oh my God, that was such a nightmare yesterday dealing with that. I'm so glad it's back to normal. Well, Samsung Dex is... Dude, I cannot tell you how grateful I am to... not sponsored, by the way, but I cannot even express how thankful I am to a lot of the Samsung apps and stuff, because it would be so impossible trying to play FGO and make videos and stream and everything on an Android device if I didn't have access to a lot of these Samsung tools, right? Because a lot of the other ways to deal with the bullshit from FGO is Apple stuff. But then you need to have like a Mac and all these other things. So like Kai can stream the game in like god tier quality really easily because he's got Apple instead of Android. But Android just does not have a lot of native support with like what's going on in FGO like at all. So it'd be very difficult to deal with this stuff if I did not have like Samsung nonsense. So like Secure Folder. Secure Folder is so nice. Secure Folder is one of my favorite fucking things from Samsung, definitely. But yeah, not sponsored, by the way. So, it looks like I'm going to be streaming with Dex from now on, unless I play like Arc Knights or something, then I'll probably use Flow, but how does Thickcaster compare to Da Vinci? I mean, they're pretty different, because Thickcaster's big thing is pretty much the support for the team, like with Guts and that kind of thing. Da Vinci's more about the nuke, pierce, and vulnerability, side of stuff. I would say, though, with the way the game is, I would say Thickcaster is better more often. I think she's more useful for more players in more situations. They're both fine, they both can do the job, but, yeah, after all Thickcaster's buffs, I would say she's overall the better one. Honestly, I think Thickcaster is kind of, underestimated unit. I think she's pretty useful in like a lot of utility and whatnot. Like, yeah, sure, if you've got like Castoria or Merlin or something, a lot of times you're not going to need what she has. But a lot of people don't have those things, so if they happen to give her, she can be pretty useful. So, Nerocaster is like one of the best DPS casters in the game. She's AoE, but she's serviceable as single target because her normal card damage is so high. And in straight burst single target damage, she's not as good as like Thickcaster, Plot Monk. Excuse me. So yeah, not as good, but in the long run, I'd say she's better. And then her survivability and utility is amazing. So, and this is coming from someone that very much dislikes Nero, right? I'm not biased in Nero's favor at all. But it's just Nerocaster is clearly an extremely good DPS caster because she's tanky. She's got the anti-counterclass thing. She's not the best single target thing ever, but she's good enough, and then she also is good in AoE, so it's very good. Yeah, Shiba needs an NP upgrade. Yeah, there's plenty of casters for AoE that are really good. It's single target that's a problem, and Caster Nero can fill the role of a single target caster. That's kind of the thing. Okay, so this guy is not a male. It is a chimera, which they don't give gender to, so I can't charm it. Feels bad. I would also, you know, like this guy to not one-shot me. I think we try to do really big normal card damage next turn. I think that's the goal here. The problem with Chin is, although for a budget unit he can throw out pretty good single target damage against an assassin, it comes at a price. Now sometimes that price is a good thing. You can do the whole buff manipulation, you know, death manipulation, buff stacking nonsense, and that can work really well. That's hard to pull off on a budget team though, because you don't really have enough units to cycle in to get enough value to win before you run out of units, because Chin Gong is killing all of them, right? Now, because if you've got access to like Merlin and Castor Artoria and Waver and all that stuff, then you probably don't need Chin Gong as your DPS anyway, because more likely than not you have other DPS that can do that kind of thing, right? So it's kind of awkward the way Chin Gong works. It's like, yeah, he can be a very viable DPS option for budget people, but there's a huge drawback, right? So every time I go to like change my volume, it brings up the low bar index. I wonder if I can turn that off. That would be really annoying, like in videos and whatnot. I don't think I can charm this guy. They need to give that a secondary effect like crit down or something, so you know it always does something. Like crit down would be nice, because she's so utility based that that would be pretty nice. Like it offers the team more survivability. Okay, if we live this turn, we'll win. Or if we kill it or don't die, we win. I'm hoping we just kill him. We got that defense down. We got the big attack up. Come on, extra attack. Oh, come on! And then he crits. Ooh, boy. So he would have killed us if he did the reverse turn order. If he had done the buff, then double attack, he would have died. So, yeah. I feel like that it's fair enough, though, because we left him at 566, so. Oh, you're right, we have guts, because Ace gave, Ace gave her the, gutsy. He knew we were gonna be in this stage, right? That actually is a good CE for her in this situation, because you don't need the starting NP. You don't at all. And those early waves are so easy that, like, you're not gonna fall behind because you don't have starting NP and whatnot, so that was definitely a good CE for this. Even though we ended up not needing it, but, Can Steno solo her own interlude? She's only got one more stage to go. I can actually summon. It is so hard to interact with the support list because of this latency. Holy shit! It's someone with UHZ. These are I don't think I've ever seen someone with UHC, dude. They're so fucking rare. But you know what's really fucked is their NP1 511. That's the that feels bad, man. I want to add someone that has UHC really bad, because UHC is awesome, but yeah, she's 511, so that's not the chosen one. I do need to look out and try to find someone someday that has a proper UHC, because literally very few people have MHX these days, and then out of the people that do, ain't none of them using the UHC costume, so yeah, it's pretty rare. I've actually thought about rolling for MHG at some point, just because I do like her gameplay, and no one uses UHC, so I wouldn't want to use all that SQ. Maybe on an ult account. Maybe one of my ult accounts will do it. The problem is some of my ult accounts don't have UHC. That's the thing. I'd max MHX if I had her, yeah. I got NP2 10 to 10 on NA. Yeah, it's always NA, man. Feels bad. It's because most of my viewers are on NA, which, you know, fair enough. By the way, I said this before, but even more so after this update, I really am starting to feel like NA is like temporarily, but NA is the better version of the game, right? They don't have the bullshit, you know, speed up nonsense when you pick cards and all that, which just looks like trash. And they don't have all this UI scaling horse shit. Dude, it's so stupid. You can tell because of the background. Whenever this is what I'm talking about with DW, man. They do everything the Band-Aid lazy way instead of like the proper way. They didn't actually speed up like the UI and stuff, right? Now they did for when you like select the cards, but when the units like jump forward and jump back at the start and end of turns, at the beginning of battle and all that stuff, they didn't actually adjust those animations and all this stuff to actually fit that speed. They're actually speeding the game up. And a lot of backgrounds you can tell because the background starts like scrolling faster than it's supposed to for a quick second, right? Like, they're just so fucking lazy like that. They do everything that way. And it really annoys me because it's, like I said, it's not future-proofing the game. But unfortunately, NA is going to get these updates eventually, and, you know, that's that. Oh my god, it's 3 waves, and I think they're all chimeras. I really need to kill this one chimera here. Sinnoh, please. Can we get, like, a bullshit crit? Or just high roll everything? Feels good. Yeah, I'm looking forward to how NA feels about Lost Belt 3. I think it's got some pretty fun bosses. Okay, we just need to kill this man and preferably get our NP. Dude, this delay when I click is a bit annoying. Yeah, I truly could not play Arknights like this. This is driving me insane. Like, Arknights is hard enough. I don't need delay on my, One thing that's cool about this, though, is I'm playing through my phone, but I don't actually have to have my phone screen on, so you can save battery that way, so that's kind of cool. I didn't get my NP. It's fine, though. These aren't males either, so. Nice of them to make Sinnoh's interlude, you know, her niche, right? They're also counterclassing me. Great. I think I invulnerability now. Alright, Mad Sinnoh DPS, let's go. We got our divinity boost. Big attack up. Hell yeah! That's actually pretty good. And should kill the other one. Probably. Get 1 crit. There we go. Double crit. Don't even need it. Please, no more casters. Oh my god. I'm not sure we got this. Really don't think we got this. Sinnoh, would you like to double crit? Oh yeah, I guess I could just play Arknights in emulator. I don't think they actually mind people playing on emulator on like FGO. Although it looks like although FGO is not gonna officially like say it's okay like some of the other games have, they don't seem to be trying to run emulators anymore, right? And going through an emulator is another way to fix the UI bullshit from this update as well, but I'd still rather not use an emulator if I can help it, but we'll see. From what it looks like to me, FGO's not going to support emulators in any way, and they're not going to endorse them, but I don't think they're trying to break them anymore like they used to. We're so dead, by the way. I've seen pretty mixed feedback. The main thing, one reason I think it has mixed feedback is one, you know, people can have their own opinions. Like, who knew? If I had not died there, we would have had a slight chance. But we're we're fucked now. But I think a big part of why the feedback is so split is because literally different phone sizes get different results. Like, that's the thing. Like, if I had a phone that had the same height and width ratio that I'm forcing on Samsung Dex here, I wouldn't. I'd be like, oh yeah, this is fine, no problem. So it kind of depends on what kind of device you have, really. Use the new blue command codes. I don't think those work in interludes anyway. But yeah, those are so silly. I wonder, do we want to try to beat this with an assassin because there are casters here? I wonder if Kama could do it, because Kama is such a disgusting solo unit. Yeah, why not? Let's see how she does. Dude, Zaw knows. I like how Zaw is trolling and being silly, and he's got like 9 people telling him the most obvious information that he already knows. And like, most people have known this entire time. Good God. Like, no, one more person say it, please. Well, this is a great opening hand, although I'm kind of glad we're not getting a good hand, so we really test this. But yeah, I'm really... So subjectively, if you prefer the black bars or blue bars compared to, you know, the UI just having the filler garbage, that's subjective, right? But I don't think it's subjective to say that this update is still bad, because it shows no one can argue that, like, if they were doing this proper and stuff, it would have proper UI scaling and everything like most games do, right? It's not like that's not even that hard to do. Like, yes, there are some under the hood things you'd have to do to fix some of the story resolution things, but like, for example, the art, like the art CG for Adam fighting the mammoth in Lost Vault 1, right? You would have to adjust the picture that's in the game files, right? You would have to do that. But unless they are just the stupidest company on the planet, I guarantee you the source material for that picture, and this is just an example because there's a lot of other pictures, but I guarantee you the source material for Adam versus the mammoth picture is some bullshit insane resolution that's way bigger than you would ever need, right? Artists pretty much always do that. Well, they'll make the source drawing or the 3D model or the sprite, you know, its original resolution is normally just way bigger than what you would ever need, right? And then you downscale it for the game. That is overwhelmingly standard across the industry, and it has been for like an ungodly amount of time. So yes, you would have to like go back and, you know, find the source material and then readjust some things, stuff like that. But it's worth the effort to do those things to future-proof your game. So the reason why I think this is like an objectively bad update is because it's just more of the same from DW of them showing a mindset that's bad, right? Of instead of doing the proper way to fix things and taking the time and doing things, you know, legit, they always do like these easy things that, you know, kind of fake update the game, right? Because even if you think the UI looks better now, that doesn't change the fact that no one would argue that, oh yeah, this is an artistic decision that the UI is floating, right? And you have all this extra, you know, bullshit space on your screen now. No one would say that's an artistic decision. That's obviously because the UI is not supporting, you know, the resolution of whatever screen you have. It's obviously that's the case, right? And I think it's objectively bad that their answer to these problems is this like band-aid fix, right? Same for these new res items and stuff. DW has just consistently, why did I not cast Guts on turn 1? Anyway, they have consistently shown that kind of behavior, which I think that's just bad. That's obviously bad for the game in the long run. Like, you may not care personally, but it's not a good sign. It's not good that the game is always doing things like that and that they're not, you know, fixing the resolution, you know, properly. Makes the game look more cinematic. Oh god. Remember when people would say that? Remember when devs, you know, kept like trying to make the graphics better, but like the consoles and stuff couldn't support it, and so they'd have to lower the frame rate. You know, some old console games have like 20 frames per second and crap like that, and then, you know, 24 frames per second. That was actually the number normally. And then when they bring it to PC, they wouldn't like do proper PC ports, and they wouldn't actually have like proper frame rates and resolution options and stuff, right? And I remember the defense for that was it's more cinematic because it looks like it looks, you know, more like movies and stuff. It's just like, are you fucking kidding me? It's literally the devs being too lazy to like make proper PC. Because like, what DW is doing right now, I remember a lot of old PC ports used to do, right? They couldn't actually, you know, like have their UI support the resolution of your monitor and stuff, right? So they would do bullshit like this instead of actually fixing it. It's pretty rare now, thankfully. Although I'm getting a blast from the past from DW here, but that's why I'm worried, right? It's not like this is new. You know, I know, old man Green. I've seen this shit before. The way DW's acting, right? You know, the PC market's gone through these growing pains in the past, right? Like I've seen this nonsense before, and I'm seeing it again, and then I get to watch all these morons defend it and act like it's okay or it's an artistic decision or something. It's just ridiculous. Dude, the blue bars like popping in and out. It's like if you're gonna have blue bars, just have them there all the time, or not at all. And this new update should easily be optional. It wouldn't even be hard for it to be optional. They absolutely should have made it optional, especially because people have different screen sizes, right? And this shows me why DW is so bad, right? Like the whole problem is they can't deal with your native screen size. That's the problem, because they can't make resolution options for the game. That's the thing, because different phones and tablets have different, you know, screen sizes. Just like monitors, different PC monitors have different screen sizes. And well, how PC gets around this is they make lots and lots of different resolution options, and then they generally, not all games, but most games will have UI scaling to match whatever resolution is going on, right? That's overwhelmingly what PC games do nowadays, right? DW's not doing that, right? And that's just crazy, and that's why some tablets and stuff are not even affected by this update, because their screen size, the game just does not support. They just do not have the resolution options to support your screen size, right? It's just like, are you kidding me? Like, that's crazy. And I'm not even kidding, because it's an older game and the source code, you know, it's shit and everything. I could be like, okay, you know, if it's a small indie dev, you made this game a long time ago, obviously you weren't thinking about all these new devices and stuff, so you didn't like lay the groundwork for these resolution options, right? So because you're a small indie dev, I can understand you not having the resources to update these things, right? But this is not a small indie dev. Right, this is, you know, again, if Activision Blizzard, like with their game World of Warcraft, if over the years they weren't updating like their internal, you know, stuff to be able to support like dual monitors and all these different screen sizes and resolution options and refresh rates and all these things, if they weren't bothering to stay up to date with those things, that would be pathetic, right? That would be pathetic, right? Now, it's a small indie dev can't keep up with those things. It's like, yeah, okay, fair enough, right? But for real, if like Activision Blizzard over the years, you know, if they still had Warcraft, you know, with the resolution options and refresh rates and everything that they had back, when did it launch? 2004 or something, right? Like in vanilla, right? If these still had, because yeah, I don't really like Blizzard, and I know a lot of people, there's a lot to criticize with Activision Blizzard, believe me, I know, and I'm aware that, you know, like WoW's current state is like a joke and everything, I got it. But you can't deny that they at least update their game under the hood. Ain't nobody having problems in WoW with like, oh my god, fucking WoW doesn't support my monitor's native resolution or my monitor's refresh rate. Like, because some games are like that and they don't, you know, they literally don't support those things. Right? A lot of older games have trouble with that kind of stuff. You know, at least they've updated the game not to have those issues, right? So I can at least respect that. But, you know, of course they do, because they make loads of money, so they can hire a lot of good engineers and stuff to make sure, you know, they update these things. And when they have to go back, and sometimes they have to uproot and make, you know, a lot of serious changes to art assets and things like that to make these things work, like their UI assets and stuff. But they do. They put the time, and they fix these things, and the player doesn't even notice, right? And meanwhile, DW, you know, crazy profitable. I know last year they weren't so profitable, but you know, the other 4 years they were crazy profitable, and they clearly have not used that money to, you know, update their infrastructure. And it worries me, man. I don't want the game to fail. That's the thing. I do not want this game to fail. and them not laying the groundwork and changing the foundation of this game to future-proof it really worries me, because they're going to get more and more behind. You're going to have more and like, good God, you're going to have, you know, bigger and bigger screens. You're going to have more and more resolution options on different devices as time goes on, and it's not going to be supporting any of these. And you're gonna like, good God. I just realized this. I'm pretty sure why this update is not compatible with a lot of larger tablets is because they know it would look stupid. Because so for those that have slightly odd screen sizes, you're probably noticing, right? Like your master level and your start button, you know, and like your back button are like floating, right? Because they're not actually scaling, right? So on a tablet, it would still be like that, right? Like the room, like between the stages and the master level would still be the same. The back button would still be the same, right? It's just the screen would be so much larger, right? That would look outrageous. It'd be like seeing like a phone inside of your tablet, right? And that would look absolutely stupid, right? So that, I'm pretty sure that's why some of the larger screen sizes, this update doesn't apply to them, because they know it would look ungodly stupid. I mean, hopefully they're gonna. I swear, I know what I'm saying. It's like of course they're not gonna do this, but I really am hoping behind the scenes they are trying to update this in a more proper way, because it's really going to be a problem for them if they don't. Right? Like this is they're gonna have serious problems moving forward if they don't address this proper. Like they've got to actually fix this at some point. Because it's like there are certain things that are going to force them to get off their ass and put in work, right? There are just some things you can't be lazy about forever, and I really think this is one of those. Eventually, these resolution issues are going to catch up with them. Like I think they're kind of already catching up with them, but it's oh my God, it's going to get so stupid as the years go on. The thing is, most people, and this is why I get annoyed at people defending them, most people don't know what they're talking about. They have no idea. Most of the things I'm talking about, like with resolution and UI scaling, and the fact that the game's obviously not supporting, like, you know, the screen sizes and everything, most people don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, right? They don't actually know the difference between a game that knows how to adjust its UI based on your game's resolution and shit like that. Like they don't know, so they're just like, oh yeah, look, see, it's full screen now, forehead. Like, that's overwhelming what I'm seeing. It's like, oh guys, it's full screen now, even though this is not full screen. You know, this is a lie. This is like a poor man's full screen. Like, they don't even realize the implication of what DW is doing with this update. So, like, most people are like, oh yeah, the game's, you know, the UI looks better, kinda, great, yay. And it's an old game, so of course it's not gonna look as good as the other games. Speaking of which, I've heard people say that Grand Blue Fantasy has been trying to update its UI and resolution options and stuff over time as well. Anyone that plays that, how have they done? I'm curious, right? Because, you know, they're an old game like FGO is as well, and apparently they didn't future-proof their resolution options either. So I've heard they've had to, like, you know, make changes to the UI and stuff. I'm curious how they've been. They've been doing it for the past 2 years, so I guess it's something they've been, like, ongoingly doing. Wow, this is insane. She didn't just beat this. Look at how much value we have left. Like, look at how much value we have left, right? We still have Guts, and then we can cast Guts again, and then we have Invulnerability, then we can use Atlas, and then we can probably cast Guts again, right? We're not even close. Now, to be fair to Steno, I will say this, and I know this because I've tested Steno in other circumstances where she's fighting things that she can actually, you know, charm. Steno can keep up better than you think, right? The main reason she's getting blasted here is because Steno's, or NP's not able to charm, or second skill's not able to charm. That's so much lost value. Now, truly, even when you are fighting something that Steno can actually use her charm on, Kama is still gonna have more value, like raw number value and stuff. Steno has more utility, so sometimes, you know, she's what you need. Like, if the boss can one-shot you, charm locking is obviously a really good thing. But yeah, one reason the gap is so large here is because Steno doesn't have her niche. But that's one reason Kama's better in general, though, is because Kama doesn't need you know, she doesn't need the enemy to be male, right? So it's a bit rough. I'd say 60% of the game has been reworked or remapped. So what it sounds like is Grand Blue Fantasy is trying to, you know, update their UI and their art assets for their UI over time, but they haven't done it all at once. So I'm guessing theirs looks pretty wonky too. It sounds like they're actually, though, doing it legit, and they're just going to take them a while. So they're actually updating their UI and stuff. So this is, for some people maybe that don't understand, part of the problem is, so in the story right here, right? The game it's already got like assets of a preset size, right? This text box right here, and where the auto button is and where the log button is, right? When they first made this, they didn't make it at different resolution sizes, right? And then downscaled it, right? So then they could twink it in the future and stuff, right? That's not what they did. This is the only resolution that this UI and this text exists in, right? This is it. So that's why, like, if you got a wonky screen size and you go to do an interlude right now, that's why the blue bars come back and everything, right? It's because this UI art asset does not exist in any other resolution. It's not, they didn't make it like that. Now, most games, because they know that people have different monitor sizes, different phone sizes, different tablet sizes, they'll make their assets designed in the first place to be more flexible with this kind of thing. And normally, like I said, the resolution is huge and they downscale it, right? And then that way, if they need to adjust it or they want to upscale it for anything, they can, no problem, right? FGO, from what I can tell, didn't do that. Now, some other art sets, surely they did that with. I can't confirm this, but I would just be so shocked if, like, for instance, Thinno's portrait surely exists, now not in the game files, but somewhere, surely Thinno's portrait exists at some massive resolution size, and they've downscaled it for the game. So if they wanted to put Thinno's art assets back into the game, they could do that. Now, they probably have to take it out and put it in, and that takes work and time, right? Because even though it's the same picture, whatever's existing in the files is not designed to be upscaled and downscaled, right? So they'd have to take it out and put it back in. But I know DW can be dumb and incompetent. I cannot tell you how standard it is for artists to make their art in much bigger resolution than what you see in, like, games or on websites and shit. So I mean, if they truly don't have these assets in higher resolution outside of the game, I would just be shocked. I mean, that is a level of incompetence that that cannot be the case. Like, now the UI assets, I'm quite sure that they don't have in these other resolution and stuff. The thing is, so the really hard stuff is the player portraits and whatnot, right? Like, they'd have to take those out of the game and back into the game, right? They wouldn't have to redraw them, but they'd have to take them out and back into the game. Now, with the UI stuff, that stuff they basically have to remake, right? It sounds like Grand Blue Fantasy has actually been remaking their UI assets over time, and making it so they can actually scale properly, right? So this text box, they would have to completely remake, right? Because as far as I'm aware, there's just no version of this with a higher resolution than this, and that's just that, right? So they'd have to make a new text box, right? And this is what's getting them, is they'd have to make new font, because I don't think they'd have to basically retype all of the text in all of the game. They would literally have to retype all of the text. Like, yeah, sure, you can copy paste it, right? You're not gonna have to get the writer to rewrite it, but then you have to, proofread and make sure you're not typoing and stuff like that. So they'd have to retype all of the text in the entire game and all the interludes, all the main stories, everything. They'd have to retype all of it, right? And that would take a very long time. But again, it's worth it to put a guy or two on this and just start doing it over time, and once it's done, put it in the game, right? And like the skip button, they'd have to remake that. Obviously, that wouldn't be very hard though, and hell, you could probably upscale that and it wouldn't even look that bad. But yeah, like, that's basically what would be necessary for this game to have proper resolution options, is right, because they never made their assets to be future-proof, because that's, again, most games do make their assets to be future-proof, and they can upscale it and downscale it, it's not a problem. So yeah, they'd have to retype everything, they'd have to remake, like, the buttons, they'd have to, like, the background on this right here, that'd probably have to be remade. That'd obviously be rather easy, but you have to actually go into the game and take one out and put one in. It's a lot of busy work. It's a lot of fucking busy work. And it's only a little bit of, like, actual art assets and, like, that kind of stuff. Like, most of the art stuff is very simple. It would not be hard to do, right? That wouldn't be a problem. The main issue is, like, on like the code, right? It's like how the code is and, like, how how much trouble it's going to be for them to put things in and out like that. A lot of switching around. Yeah, the text would probably be... Now, maybe their text really is designed in a way that they can upscale and downscale it without a problem, so maybe that would be a big issue. I suspect, though, that's not the case, from what I've seen of how the story has to rescale it with the blue bars and everything. So, I'm pretty sure the text can't easily be adjusted, but maybe it can. Maybe the text can. and that would save them a lot of time. But yeah, it's a lot of fucking busy work that they'd have to do. But oh my god, I think it is so worth it for them to do it. Like, hey, 10 SQ, I'll take that though. But yeah, it's pretty obvious to me that they're not willing to do these things, right? Because, and again, if they were an indie dev, I get it. You can't expect an indie dev to do that. But with the amount of money they have, and dude, once they got it done, they wouldn't have to do it again, right? Once they get all the old stuff done, they would never have to deal with these things again. And every time they make new events, they just use the new font size and the new, assets and stuff that can be upscaled and downscaled, and it'd be no problem, right? So again, that's what I'm meaning about future-proofing the game, right? If they were wanting to really future-proof this game so it looks good and works well on new devices and everything, these would be the things that they were doing. And maybe behind closed doors, they are doing these things, like I said, and maybe 6 months from now they are going to update this stuff, but I really doubt it. I mean, I can't, like, look at how slow they are with animation updates for old servants, and just, I really think they think this is good enough. They think this is going to, oh yeah, the game's more modern now, and everyone's going to think it's nice and modern and up to date now, right? That's, so I don't know, man. Now, if this was any other company, I would agree that I would doubt they don't make, like, not making scalable fonts is nuts, but I'm telling you, man, I actually don't think they have scalable fonts. Like, so much of the way this game has been handled really points to that. Like, that's what, like, why do you think this new UI shit that they're doing doesn't apply to the story bits, right? There's a reason for that. Now, maybe it's just because they don't have because here's the thing, if the only thing they were lacking were like scalable basic UI stuff like the back button and the skip button and the background and all that, that's not that hard to make, right? Yeah, you'd have to, you have to make the stuff. You got to get an artist to do that. It take but it would not take that long, right? If that was the only thing preventing them from like doing this UI bullshit for their story, I think they would have done it, right? That's only a few things. It's not that big of a deal. Something else is obviously the reason that they couldn't do it. Dude, I truly, what are they going to do in like another 3 or 4 years, right? When devices have even more variants in their screen sizes and stuff, right? Because they're still going to have this old font. They're still going to have the old skip button and background text and all this stuff. I mean, that's what I'm talking about. This is why those larger tablets aren't having it right now, and these have massive blue bars, because they just don't have the UI support for the UI scaling. They just don't have it, right? So I'm like, are you going to start making it? That's why this update worries me so much, because it's so obvious that they're not even working on it. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, like seriously, with the floating UI bullshit right now, that's just going to get worse and worse as time goes on, right? They have to have, like, the menu button. You can see it here. Now, you can't tell too much because I've actually, like I said, I've changed my screen size to kind of match the native UI size so it doesn't look so bad. But you can see how there's like that filler underneath the menu button, right? And so if I had an even larger screen, right, that would just keep going, right? Like that white fade just keeps going, right? And thankfully, like I said, it's not too noticeable right now. And like the master placement, the master profile placement you can see relative to like the free quest, that's gonna stay the same no matter what. If I had a larger screen, the new screen size, they're just gonna have filler stuff underneath the master portrait. The master portrait doesn't move down with the screen, right? Because they don't have like the UI support for that right now, and they don't have the art assets for that. So as screens get bigger and bigger, like what are they gonna do? Right? They have to address this eventually, right? They've got to actually make a menu button that's the right size. They've got to make a master portrait that's the right size. They have to make, the level and your master level and AP, like that stuff. This stuff has to eventually be made to upscale, right? If they don't do these things, they're just gonna get more and more out of date, and it's gonna look stupider and stupider. I swear though, they might just for always be a relic of the past in this department. I don't know, because they do not seem willing to fix these things. And like what they should do, like with the NPs, because the NPs obviously same thing. They don't have like the NP text at the bottom, that doesn't support the background. I imagine a big part of it is like the background for the NPs was never made to be large enough to fit these like different screen sizes. So like, in Billy NPs, you got like the wind blowing by and the dust in the background, and the background goes black and everything. My guess is like Billy's NP literally doesn't have enough background to actually support a larger screen, right? So that's why NPs have the blue bars still, right? Is because the NPs just weren't designed for that. So how to fix that is you basically, when you give units animation updates, you need to start making their animation support this kind of thing, which it's crazy if they haven't been doing that. You know, you have to make new art assets for the text at the bottom and all that kind of crap. And so what I would do is you have blue bars for the old ones, and then as you update old servants, you fix it, and then just over time fix it. And anytime you make a new unit, make sure the new unit has, you know, proper UI scaling and everything. So basically, that's what I mean by future-proofing the game, right? So you start moving the game forward, so eventually you're going to get to a point where this isn't a problem anymore, and every time you make a new unit, because now if you make a new unit with proper UI scaling, it's going to be obvious that the new units have it and the old units don't, and there's going to be like a big disparity there and people are going to be mad. That's why like new units are still going to have the blue bars and everything. But they need to, like I said, start fixing this stuff moving forward, so eventually it gets to a point where it's, you know, good. I mean, yeah, it's true that they historically have not been adapting to their competitors, but I think they're starting to at least try now. Because they just got their ass kicked. I mean, last year they just got destroyed, right? Their profits went down 81%. Genshin Impact's over there laughing to the bank. They clearly, and with that last interview they gave, I think they are starting to be more mindful of these things. So I'm hopeful that, you know, at some point they're going to get their heads out of their ass and they're going to start, you know, getting this stuff more sorted out. But I guess we'll see. And yeah, DW, see, okay, I get it. DW probably doesn't care, right? They're like, we're just going to make our new games, and we'll make those games have proper UI scaling and art assets that are, you know, future-proof and stuff like that, right? Because I expect when those two games that DW is working on, when those come out, you know, they're probably not going to be a complete shit show, right? Hey, Gabe with the UHC, still 777 NP1, you know, kind of a shit show. But hey, let's show this off, because I don't think I've ever used UHC in gameplay before, so I kind of want to see this. She's probably going to lose, by the way, but we'll see how she does. But anyway, yeah, I kind of feel like DW is like, yeah, we're just going to worry about our new games. But see, this is where Aniplex needs to step in, right? Now, the thing is, I don't think Aniplex knows what the hell they're talking about, because most of them are like executives and stuff. It's not like they understand video games and what UI scaling is and whatnot. They're not going to understand why can't our master level and stuff be like moved down into the corner so it looks proper, right? They're not going to understand why that's an issue, right? But if they think DW is phoning it in and just like barely doing what's like, you know, called for in their contract, that's when Aniplex needs to, you know, step in and make sure, you know, DW isn't being lazy and whatnot, right? But I don't think Aniplex even knows, right? They wouldn't know the signs that DW is just phoning it in and putting all their effort into their other projects and stuff, right? Because ultimately, you know, it's, you know, DW's got to look out for their own best interests, right? If they think it's worth it to phone it in, if Aniplex isn't going to crack the whip and, you know, put more of their effort into the other games that have different publishers and stuff, you know, that's up to them, right? But then, you know, they got to, you know, deal with the business side of things with Aniplex if Aniplex wants to crack the whip, right? So from like Aniplex's standpoint, you know, they got their objective is making sure, you know, FGO's doing well and making money and so on and so forth, right? So but yeah, I don't know if Aniplex would even know. That's why I think like these updates are more of DW trying to tell Aniplex, hey, look, we're still working on the game. We're not being lazy. See, we updated the UI and stuff, right? And Aniplex doesn't know any better. It's because like I'm telling you, there is no way Aniplex is not pissed as fuck right now, right? Because FGO is actually Sony's, because Aniplex is owned by Sony, right? They're actually like they're a second party part of Sony. They're really Aniplex just is Sony. They're just a branch of Sony. And so FGO is one of the absolute top money makers for Sony for several years, right? For several years, the profits from FGO was like the top thing for Sony, right? And obviously that just dropped by 81%, and now they're not Sony's top money maker right now. There's no way they're happy about that. No publisher is going to be like, oh yeah, you used to be our top money maker, now all of a sudden your profits dropped by 81%. That's fine. Just good luck, guys. Of course not. But they also don't necessarily understand the hands-on stuff that, you know, is the reason why it's lost, you know, 81%. So I'm not... It'll be interesting to see what happens as time goes on, like how Aniplex and Sony respond to this kind of stuff. I like how she's actually got the Z on her jacket. That's kind of cool. Does MHX have the X on her jacket? I'm curious. I never really noticed that. That's kind of funny. Alright, do I NP on wave 1? Because I don't want these guys to just murder me. I think I do, actually. It's kind of crazy, but... Yeah, you get this costume, in, Civil Wars 2. Yeah, so you can see the cut in there. And actually, you can see on her sprite, it's hard to tell. She's got the Z on her jacket. I'm wondering if X has the X on the jacket. That'd be kind of cool. Are you kidding me? I just did all that so I wouldn't take damage this turn. I just blew my NP and everything. So like I'd have a turn where I don't take damage and I get to attack again and everything. And I left the guy at 4 HP. Feels bad, man. I got crit too. Zoken bugs too OP, yeah. Not really Zoken bugs, but they're like, although if they ever needed to represent Zoken bugs in game, I'm sure they would use these guys' sprites, because, you know, fuck making new sprites. Okay, let's see. She does, in fact, have the X on her jacket. That's pretty cool. Do I use... No, I don't think I use my third skill here. Well... No, I think we do. We have Atlas, so... Let's see if we can kill 2. I can definitely kill 2 if I kill the front one. Alright, I killed that one with the attack of 3 of a kind, hit the middle one. But let's see if we can kill both 30k ones. That'd be huge. If we got a crit, it might work. Yeah, well, we don't have a 4-star ticket right now. I wouldn't expect one for a little bit anyway because of the free 5-star ticket, so... Okay, we're not gonna kill that. Yeah, probably should have killed the front one then. That's gonna cost me a bit there. If I had known that was gonna happen, I would have cast Invulnerability. I actually think she can beat this, we just need to play differently. I'll cast it now, but it might not be able to get it back before I die now. What's really hurting us is just being 777, so that's gonna make it a lot harder to loop. We might be able to though, we'll see. Yeah, if I had known I was gonna take damage all those turns, I would have cast that a long time ago. I mean, that's not really what Zoken's bugs look like, so if that's what they were supposed to represent, they didn't do a particularly good job. Although these bugs can take different forms, so... But they use them from all kinds of stupid crap in the game. Okay, at least it's only one enemy. Okay, if we stun, we'll actually be in pretty good shape here. I mean, they're going to add another free 4-star ticket at some point. I just think they're going to take a little while because of the free 5-star ticket they did, right? Which, fair enough, that's fine. Although I will say, it does really suck if one of your favorite characters is a 4-star, right? Because, like, everyone's all like, oh, free 5-star! 5 stars are more powerful than 4 stars! Yay! Oh my god. Oh my god. Why do you have to be like this? Because if that had stunned, then we get our invulnerability back. By the way, if we were 10-10-10, we'd already have our invulnerability back, but, well, shit. Well, if we don't die here, we'll probably win. We definitely can win if I play better. Don't kill me, bro. Just don't kill me, bro. That's a good start. Normally, I'd hate to see that debuff, but, it means... Oh, no, I'm dead. Okay. Gotta play that a little bit better. That guy has a really high attack stat, by the way. But yeah, anyway, some people's favorite character is a 4-star, and they don't care that a 5-star is stronger than a 4-star, right? So they're like, you see the Z right there, that's cool. But yeah, they're like, yeah, oh yeah, free 4-star ticket coming up, I can get my favorite character, and like, oh fuck, it's a 5-star one. I will never forget those SQ accounts I rolled on NP5 Hot Wheels, and now only one that I managed to get 5. Wow, USOs from Trap. What the fuck? I don't. How does that luck work? How did you get trap faced that many times? Like, out of all the spooks, like, the odds of that are terrible. Okay, terrible opening hand. Oh, joy. I'm not gonna lie, though. If they ever do rate up MHX, I'll at least throw summon tickets at her, because the UHC thing is pretty awesome. I wish they'd given her a more proper animation update, though. It's pretty obvious that she's like an old, you know, sprite and everything that they've kind of just patchworked to be a little bit better. She obviously does not look, you know, half as good as like an actual modern character. But it's definitely, she's way better than, you know, a pure, like, old servant. By the way, I rolled some on NA. I did story pulls on NA the other day because, you know, I don't need my SQ for anything. There's literally nothing, like, yeah, I like a lot of servants and stuff, but I got them on JP, so who cares? So on NA, I'm kind of like, okay. I'm mostly focused on low stars anyway. And so I was like, hey, I'll throw some SQ at story banner just cause. So I was like, why not? And I wanted to see if I could get some, like, you know, CEs. And I did. I got like the anti-berserker CE, so that was good. But I got Artemis and I got Trap Face again, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I got Yuri Pirates twice, so wasn't particularly happy about that. Okay, now last time we failed to kill the 16K guy, but we could. I mean, we could kill him this time, and so I'm going to use invulnerability on the next wave. That's still one turn sooner, so it should still come back in time, and then I don't screw myself if I kill this guy. See, here's the thing, right? Spooks are very... I'm always, you know, getting pissed at my spooks, but spooks are, like, statistically likely to screw me over, I'm pretty sure, because the game has so many waifu-added tricks. Oh, we'll kill it anyway. Oh, thank God. Okay, that feels good. But so, there's so many waifus and lollies and shit like that I don't like, that if I get a gold spook, it's way more likely to be something that I don't want. Now I will say getting double Yuri Pirates, like 2 of the same thing, that was pretty unlikely. And then freaking Trap Face again. I keep getting Trap Face on like every account, so that's not great. Okay, we definitely do this now. I almost wonder if we get more out of our stun against these guys than the snake. I would think not. So we need to get our NP over anything else, really. I've gotten a few 4-star spooks that I liked, right? You know, I've gotten like Fionn and stuff, Valkyrie, Penth. But I've definitely gotten way more that I don't. And I've never gotten, you know, Hercules. Well, I only got 1 Beowulf, where I would really like 2. Okay, we're playing way better this time now. We got slightly better luck on wave 1, and we're just playing better right now with our invulnerability, so I'm hopeful that we're gonna win this time. Ooh, that was closer than I would have liked. If we hadn't crit with either of those, we might not have killed that guy. That would have been... oof. We're still in way better shape than last time, though. Alright, I need to kill and get my NP, and preferably make as many stars as possible. So Buster Art is like the guarantee. I guess we do that just to be safe. Do I, though? I don't use her enough. I'm not super familiar with her NP gain. Alright, let's see what happens. We'll do the greedy thing. Oh, it's fine. Oh god, that's totally fine. Feels good. Yeah, I've tested her NP gain in the past, but I haven't. That was like I don't know, 6 months ago or something, right? Like, or even more than that, probably like a year ago. So I don't really remember everything. So, okay, we're looking real good now. Look, we still have our attack buff. Yeah, this is way better. And even if our stun fails, we'll have our invulnerability back, so... At least we got one crit. Yeah, we're totally fine. This was easy. It is funny that okay, that actually... No, we have Atlas. It's fine. We're prepared for this. And hey, look, we actually stunned him this time. So, it's funny. Last time if we had stunned him, we still would have won. With this time, we would win even without it because we got our invulnerability. Because we used it better this time. And hell, like, you might kill him right now, actually. That's pretty satisfying, though, like, just how much more value we got out of this run by just playing better than not getting horrible luck on wave 1. Because now we beat this, like, with, you know, plenty of extra wiggle room, so... And look, we'd be safe this turn because we have invulnerability, then we could NP again, like... We could handle a snake that was quite a bit tougher than this one. Really satisfying. Thankfully, Kiara is popular enough that if you like her a lot, surely she's gonna get other rate ups in the future. So just start saving now. You know, that's. Although I guess it's a thing. If by the way, this is against terms of service, so we here at Green Incorporated do not encourage anyone to do this. We are just mentioning the fact that a lot of people do this. That like if you start playing the game when Kiara is rated up, a lot of people would just buy a starter account that comes, you know, for like $10 or whatever, that comes with like, you know, 1,000 SQ or whatever, and then just get Kiara, right? And then you just go, you know, from there and, you know, easy, where, you know, you can't do that later down the line, obviously. You can only do it once. I'm gonna BRB real quick. I need to get water. Okay, chat. You want to hear something sad? After everything this developer has put us through, I'm not making this up. So we knew there was probably going to be some kind of update last night because the game was down for maintenance and there was a version update. You don't do a version update if there's not something, you know, under the hood going on, maybe new assets or, you know, UI changes, things like that, right? So we knew something was coming. Even though they hadn't announced anything, we knew something was coming, right? Version update, long maintenance, it's obvious, right? There was a part of me that I had like two tiers going on here of hope, right? I thought this was unbelievably unlikely, but there was this small part of me that's like, you know, hey, they just had that interview where they're like, yeah, we're gonna try to make the game systems better and stuff. And they had said on stream or something where they were like, yeah, they were aware that a lot of people want a story replay and stuff. So there was this part of me that was just like, maybe we're gonna get story replay out of nowhere. It's like a filler thing. Hey guys, we don't have a new event yet, but hey, there's you know, you can do story replay now. But then I was like, you know, of course that's unlikely, you know. But there's still a patch and stuff, so maybe they're gonna fix the command code UI, right? Maybe that's the reason there's a version update, eh? Or, you know, maybe they'll, you know, do, you know, some other, you know, fixes to systems and stuff. No. Because, you know, the story replay was like the long shot. You know, you don't really think that's gonna happen, right? But then I'm like, yeah, they could do the command code UI update. That could happen, sure, right? No. Yeah, they borked the UI. That's all they did. I just, oh my god, dude. And I've been seeing people all day be like, oh, it looks so much better. And I'm like, look, better would be if the screen was bigger and then, you know, the UI actually adjusted appropriately, right? That's how you actually do this. So it's like, you know, I can't fathom that people don't like see the problem there, where like your screen gets bigger, but nothing in the game actually scales with that. Like, that's not a good sign. Are you fucking kidding me, right? Like, imagine if the whole reason the master icon doesn't boop into the corner is because they literally don't have the assets for that. It's, oh my god. Like, send help, man. But yeah, hope is gone. I agree with Max's motto, by the way. It's I feel that way a lot in this game. I want to look at Max's support list here. What do we got here? I tell you, man, this is taste. This is taste right here. You know, so rarely when I look at you know, support lists from y'all in chat, it's like there's nothing wrong with them, but you know, it's like, oh yeah, this is clearly, you know, they like, you know, things very different, you know, and that's fine, right? But this is some taste I can get behind, man. We got Fluffy Boy, right? Now that already is some culture there, and with MLB K-Scope, so he can just like come in from the back row and just boom, instantly NP and nerf the shit out of the ball. That's awesome, right? And he's grailed up, so he's not gonna get one shot. It's fantastic, you know. Mordred, obviously big fan of this. Mordred's one of my favorite characters, and this is like maximum Mordred. This is actually stronger than my Mordred, actually, because I think they're fully 2K forward. Mine's not quite there yet. So yeah, that's quite the thing right there. And oh my god, this Mordred even has the command card boosts, so her cards do more damage. Like, the crits on this Mordred must be devastating, right? That's crazy. Okay, then obviously David, this is some, you know, super culture too. Fucking no one grails David, even though he's god tier. And David's like, I love his character and everything, and that's just such a rare thing to see grailed, and it's so useful and powerful and just unique gameplay, right? So that's awesome. And also, look at those stats! Good god, look at those stats on David. That is fucking David with 13,000 health, almost 14,000, and almost 15,000 attack. That is just, that's crazy, right? Okay, then we got Canis, obviously big fan of Canis. Grailed to 90, which is, you know, that's always such a nice thing to do for 4 stars you like. Like, yeah, they're not your favorite. You're not gonna grail them to 100, but you slap 2 grails on them and boom, you know, they're 90. They get that extra boost of value and they kind of feel like a 5-star, and they're, you know, really good now. So, you know, Canis at NP2, you know, 90. No one's going to feel like that's, you know, underwhelming, like when you're using them. So that's really good. And then level 1 George, obviously, this is the good shit, right? It lets people solo nice and easy. Got the good Da Vinci CE, you know, so George doesn't get extra health. George doesn't have health foes or anything, so he's going to die, you know, as easy as possible. Of course, he's still going to end up at 1 HP because of this fucking game. But anyway, so this is obviously like the best rider slot anyone can have. And we got good old Babbage, who's just the... Who grails Babbage, right? Like, no one grails Babbage, but Babbage is awesome. I love Babbage to death. This is such a hard thing to find. And then I'm telling you, I've seen a few grail Babbages in the past, and they always have their fucking Bond CE, so all these extra stats that they get from being grailed go right out the fucking window, and they're not any better than a 70 Babbage with the real CE. Seriously, grail Babbages with Bond CEs are not any better than 70 Babbages with like Golden Sumo or Aerial Drive or some of that shit, right? But no, we got grail Babbage with Aerial Drive, so he's like an actual unit, and he's actually stronger than like a typical Babbage, right? So you get that juicy, you know, mecha bomb damage. It's fantastic. And Jekyll and Hyde, obviously, total piece of shit unit, and it makes me sad, but I fucking love Jekyll and Hyde. One of my favorite servants, actually, like, you know, character-wise and everything. So that's, you know, really good civ. 10-10-10, demonic CE is his best CE. That's great. And then Mori. I mean, come on. Mori's like my favorite thing ever, right? Fucking, and he's 100. He's not even 90. He's fucking 10-10-10. By the way, everything on this list is 10-10-10 other than George, but that's what you would expect. But yeah, Mori, level 100, 10-10-10, NP5. Got some nice command codes for big boy crits. You know, I mean, what more do you want? And then we got Antonio, right? And Antonio's like you know, who doesn't like Antonio, right? Like, he's awesome. Look, I mean, look at, like, this is quality right here. This is a support list I can get behind. Actually, I want to see what, I want to see what they're doing with their Antonio here. Let's see. So, 1K foe, I think 10, 10, 10. I'm curious what they're doing stage. So, yeah, they're just stage 2 all the way. Which, you know, I really like stage 2. It looks great. I just wish she had animations for it, right? That's like the one thing that, but that's not the support list's fault. That's DW's. But you know, maybe someday. Anyway, yeah, nice support list. Feels good, man. What are we doing here? We're doing Gilius's interlude. That's what we're doing. Ram Blue, FML. What they do? Not on Makusa though. I kind of want to use a saber, a really good saber. You know, it's kind of like blasphemy using someone else's Mordred when I have a level 100 Mordred that's got some 2K foes and 10, 10, 10, NP5, all that nonsense too. But you know what? I kind of want to see this in action because, like, that's, you know, that's crazy with the command code boosts and everything. Like, I want to see this, crit a bitch and see how it goes. We might still lose though just because we're fighting, archers, but, this will be a good test, I guess. And the Mordred's in stage 1. That's the best one. And like, no one agrees with me on that, right? Like, everybody is always like, fucking armor. I want tits or whatever, right? But no, right? Her armor is like so fucking badass, right? And this is actually stage 1, so it feels good. Why do we keep deleting? All right, this hand sucks, but we're kind of used to that at this point. And see, I do exactly what Max does. I put it so her face cards show her face, right? Because that kind of works. It's like that's like that kind of, you know, you can see the character both ways if you want, right? So that works. I do the exact same thing. I think Mordred's costume is pretty popular. I honestly don't know where it lands on the popularity, but like sometimes it mismatching like that is bad, but I think it works just fine for Mordred. It's kind of like how in what is it, Code Geass, right? Like, you have those, like, you know, Lulu should be wearing the Zero costume and the mask and everything, but they have like those interior shots to show his facial expressions and stuff, right? Like that it's kind of like that. It works just fine. I think she got her NP, right? I would think Mordred's costume is popular, but I don't really know, to be honest. Medea doesn't get much love in FGO. You know, they did a big round of Fate Stay Night buffs, and they buffed Ku and Hercules, but not Medea. That is just, that really blew my mind. It's one thing to buff like Ku and Herc that didn't really need buffs, but you buff them because you're doing a Fate Stay Night thing, right? And you kind of want them to be like, it's obvious you want Ku to be one of the best 3-star Lancers. And, you know, fair enough. You know, he's really popular and he's supposed to be really powerful lore-wise, and it's nice to have free-to-play units that are really good. So, you know, sure, if they want Ku to be the best 3-star Lancer, fine, right? And they're doing a Fate Stay Night thing, okay. But then also buff the Fate Stay Night characters that actually need a buff. And here's the thing. You know, I'm a Ku fan anyway, right? I'm a big fan of Ku, but the reason I get so annoyed with them always buffing Ku and nobody else is because the other Lancers need to be viable, right? The other 3-star Lancers need to be better, right? I'm happy if Ku is the best 3-star Lancer. Sure, I'll take it, right? Why not, right? I like Ku. I want 3 stars to be good. If Ku's the best 3-star Lancer, no problem. But that doesn't mean I want Ku to be light years better than the other Lancers. Like, buff them first, for God's sakes. Like, holy crap. Like, it'd be nice if, you know, Dyrmid could be a viable 3-star Lancer. And he is sometimes, but it should be way more often than he is. What do I want to do here? I actually really like Star Bomb on our art cards. I've been wanting to try that. I haven't had the guts to do it, though. I should have swapped those cards around. I did it because the art card had 50% crit, but we're not going to need it. And the quick card is actually the one that critted anyway, so that's where you save scum and switch them around, see? Romulus is not really that good of a 3-star Lancer, to be honest. He's fine, he's okay, but he's not really a staple of 1 to 3-star stuff at all, because the main reason is just because he doesn't do enough damage relative to the kind of like battery and NP gain rate he's got and like his survivability and stuff. It just doesn't work out so good. Now there are some times that he's good, because sometimes you do need specifically, like in a lot of AoE situations, you don't need a specific class, but sometimes it's really obvious that a certain class is better than the others, because maybe like the first 3 servants are like an archer and a berserker, and then something that's neutral to a lancer, but that one's got the lowest health, right? So it's obvious that a lancer is going to get really good value here, right? And then maybe there's certain gimmicks in the boss fight that like promote guts and things like that. So there are times that Romulus is good. He does get used by 1 to 3-star people from time to time. But not very often. It's very rare, and whenever he gets used, it's not for general use, it's because you specifically need an AoE Lancer. If you need general AoE, you always see somebody else, right? Whenever you're in a challenge quest or something, and you need a 1 to 3-star AoE unit and the class doesn't matter too much, or multiple classes work, it's never Romulus. It's never Romulus, unless there's like maybe a guts thing. But you know, Romulus is okay. Like, you know, like I said, he's all right, but he really could, with some minor tweaks, he'd be very good, right? He doesn't need like massive buffs, right? Some pretty minor buffs to Romulus would make him much, much better. Yeah, I think if they give Romulus an NP buff, that alone would probably do the trick, honestly. Because when you have all those damage up abilities, you don't want to then have that just be compensating for the fact that you don't have an upgraded NP, right? You want it to just be a pure boon, right? So, yeah, between his overcharge and his buster up and attack up and everything, if he had an upgraded NP, that'd be pretty awesome. All right, we're going to want an NP here. The dream would be we kill everything but the 39k one, but that's probably not going to happen. Which skeleton are you talking about? There's a few. There's like when those other designs for the skeletons, like the red one, the green one, and the blue one, that are like a lot fancier. They've show up occasionally from time to time. Like they've shown up in the main story a couple times. They show up in a couple of interludes and strengthening quests, and they're in hunting quests fairly often. Oh. How about that? Tristan, would you like to not, like, as your first action, remove my defense buff? Could you be a bro here? If I can get my NP right now, that'd be awesome. Like, off his hit count. Tristan, do triple quick. That's not triple quick. Fuck! Okay, that's not good. I think we use our second skill and we go for a crit turn here, and then we go for a crit turn again next turn, and then we try to kill there. Do I take the 30% because it makes more stars? Yeah. Come on, Mordred, give us the big damn. And then we need, if we don't die here, we'll have really, really big damn next turn. Don't buster crit me, brah. That's not... Okay. Let me try that one more time. Let me just sip my my water here. Do that one more time. Also, you know, that's another thing this patch could have been. It could have been a support list update. Imagine that. That would have been I'd have been swell. How is my crap account popping up right now? Jesus. Pretty sure Max is logged in more recently than my crap account. Yeah, I'll try that for the next stage, Arjuna. There we go. Hey, maybe we can kill one of these. How about that? Wow. Why can't I get hands like this all the time? Shit. Is this a dream? So one thing I really dislike about like how I'm having to deal with all this like breathing and sleep apnea problems is one thing that it results in is I remember my dreams a lot more, right? If you get like really good REM sleep and you wake up after the REM cycle is totally finished and everything, it's pretty normal to not remember your dreams. Now some people do anyway, but I was one of those people where if I got proper sleep, you know, my REM cycle completes and then boom, I wake up, won't remember my dreams, right? I hate remembering my dreams because it just feels like it takes longer to sleep, and a lot of dreams are just stupid, right? So, and now because I'm almost always waking up in the mid-REM cycle, that means you're very likely to remember your dreams. So I normally remember multiple dreams every time I wake up, and it sucks. I am not a fan of this. So yeah, that's another big motivation to you know, find ways to get over the sleep apnea problem, because I don't dig. I do not find dreams fun at all. I don't have like nightmares really either, and even if I did, I wouldn't really care. They're just weird bullshit that takes a long time. I'm just like, come on, get it over with. Like, I want to wake up and do things. I like reality a lot more than my dreams. Okay. I don't have like fun dreams where I'm like, you know, anything cool is happening. It's just like weird bullshit. And yeah, normally I just don't remember my dreams in any way, and I vastly prefer that. You're already living in the nightmare. It really is a shame we can't leave one of those guys alive and then do the quick art extra. That would be huge, man. At least Mordred gives herself 20% NP right there, though. Maybe we cast Guts next turn. See, when we got that 50% defense up, he's not melting us. Oh, we got our NP now. That's better than last time. Okay, I think we cast Guts now. Yeah, I didn't really estimate his damage properly last time because I knew he had the defense up, but I kind of forgot that, you know, it makes you really tanky. And then, you know, he crit us. If he hadn't crit us, we probably would have been all right. I gotta say though, I'm sold. I'm sold on the way Max has the command codes. I could never really make it. I was like, yeah, but if you put the star bomb on the quick one, it's more it's way better to have the star bombs on the art cards. That works really well. I'm definitely sold on that. Alright, we have another crit turn next turn, because we have not used Anniversary Blonde. So we can, and our crit buff will linger, so we can have a big Buster Chain crit, you know, Buster up, all that nonsense. And then we can have another crit turn next turn, so that's really good. Damn that damn. Jesus Christ! That is just. God, what the, that's. We're being counterclassed, right? That ain't neutral damage, that's half. That is. Good God, we would have killed him so many times there if he was a Lancer or a Berserker. I like how we didn't proc Guts, so we could have saved it and cast it this turn. Although I'm pretty confident we're gonna kill here. As long as we don't just have... we could do 60, 80, 90. Do we do 60, 80, 90 or 40, like 90, 60? Because the Buster cards have got the higher inherent damage and all that stuff. But actually critting is pretty important here. I feel like if we do Buster, Art Buster, we might not actually need to crit much. We could probably just win with just the damage. So I think we do that. I may be wrong about that though. Because we do have the crit bonus. Right, the buff? Uh-oh. Woo, boy! Yeah, I think we needed one crit. So I probably should have gone the crit route, because we did have the crit, you know, skill. We cut that a little bit closer. I don't think I made the right call there with the cards at the end. But it worked out. We were very statistically likely to get one crit, and that's all we needed, but still. That's pretty awesome that she beat that. That's not bad. And obviously we could have, you know, used the Guts one turn later, but okay, let's check out Arjuna's all slot. Let's see what we got here. Okay, I'm assuming it's his account, so it's just Omega upgraded Brunhilde. That puts mine to shame. Oh my god, and it's the Yang CE. Of everybody with their goddamn Yang CEs, man. That thing is so broken. Like, that is, who made that? Like, it's so, the value on that thing, and you know, we got our burn command codes and everything. All right, let's see how we do here. Caesar, that's a fun one. I've thought about grailing Caesar. They're imbalanced, indeed. All right. When do we want to use our second skill? It kind of, this is only 2 waves, so that means the boss is the next thing. I still don't think we cast it yet, though. Might cast it on the last turn, though, so we take the crit stars. Level 98, man. She is a pretty cool unit. I was very happy with the way she was done, because they gave her good variety in her Ascension stages, right? So that's always a plus. You know, she's more serious than most of the Summer Servants, especially depending on which Ascension stage you go with. And then she's got a skill set that's pretty fun. It's a lot like Pent in a way. So I always like skill sets like that anyway. And then she's got a little bit of survivability. It's really nice when Berserkers have some survivability. So yeah, I like her gameplay wise, and I think for a Summer Servant they did pretty well. I probably will try to get her again next year. That way I can get the Yang CE, because the Yang CE is just so good. I don't want to use it in like a lot of my videos, but every once in a while, if there's like a solo that's just bullshit hard to do or whatever, I wouldn't mind busting it out for that kind of thing. And it really is one of the best DPS CEs in the game, so I should have attacked the other one. That was a mistake, because I could have killed the other one, I think. And I really regret what I just did there. I should have cast her evade. So, yeah, that's gonna come back to bite me right there. The Yang CE increases your damage by 40% to targets that have burn, and it's very easy to apply burn because there's a bunch of command codes that can apply burn every time you attack. So you basically just do 40% more damage all the time. And you also have Piercing Vulnerability forever. And that's just huge. Like, there's other CEs with permanent Piercing Vulnerability, but they don't have side effects that's like fucking 40% damage up, right? They don't do crazy shit like that. So I'll whiff the EMP charge if I use my second skill now, but we'll make stars, and that's probably worth it. kind of pissed though that I messed up my my kill order there, and I took damage when I didn't have to. And I could have not only not taken damage, I could have saved my evade. So that was a pretty big boo-boo. Might have to reset because of that mistake. Yeah, it's Origin Bullet against everyone, pretty much. And Origin Bullet's insane, but the thing that kind of, you know, evened it out was it only worked against casters, right? Or Yang CEs, like everyone's a caster now. Yep, having my evade right now would be pretty good. I'm actually gonna kill the snake first, because fuck those guys. I can target. We might actually be able to kill them both here. Depends on just how good her damage is. See, I would cast Guts next turn if we had our evade. Oh, we might need to cast it now. I think I'll win next turn. Even though I've misplayed and all this nonsense, I think we might win next turn. Now, we're not gonna have burn on Nido crits, but we'll go with the crit boost then. We'll definitely kill her next turn though if she doesn't cast a survivability skill. If she casts survivability skill, I'm gonna need to use my my evade better. Bonk 'em! Wow. Didn't quite kill, but so she did defensive damage cut. I don't think. Look at her going Buster spam with crits. So yet again, we used our guts too soon, but I think we win here. What's nice is the burn command code here actually applies to burn before damage calculation. So you'll get the Yang CE even on that card. So that one's doing 40% more damage too. So Nidochris is super tanky here, but I don't think it's gonna save her. Yeah, no. Feels good. Misplay, win anyway. Yeah, you're really lucky if you like Summer 5 Servants, because then you get to roll for them and roll for one of the best DPS CEs ever, so... The only time it's not good is when you really, really need starting NP. And there are absolutely a lot of times where you absolutely need starting NP. Also, if you're playing with OP supports, a lot of times you don't need more damage, right? If you're doing like loopy bullshit with Scatty or Castor or Tori or whatever, you might have the damage you need anyway, so who the fuck needs 40% more damage? And then you'd rather have an NP with starting NP so you can get like the NP bullshit rolling, right? So there are absolutely times that it's not good, but for soloing and a lot with more normal supports and stuff, a lot of times it's really good. And even with OP supports, it still can be really good because you might actually want Pierce and Vulnerability, so. And thankfully, if you start playing the game and you want that Yang CE, the event that it comes with also comes with a burn command code. So if you miss the other burn command codes, it doesn't matter. You can still get one. And I'm sure that'll be true for the rerun. The rerun will have the command code back. Yeah, the anti-Berserker CE has the defense ignore, which is very strong. I will say, this update did give out a lot of free SQ. Oh man, we got the good music. Let's see. Don't really need to do any of these right now. Might fight the dragon or something. Or let's go to the ult account. Let's see how hard it is to go to the ult account on Samsung decks. Let's see if it works out. I have not mastered how this fucking thing works. Like, it's kind of funky the way this thing works. Switching apps can be a bit of a pain, so see how hard it is for me to get this going. I'm hoping, and I've heard it does this, that it saves your screen size. I have found though switching apps around and stuff, it's kind of funky. It doesn't quite work the same way that Flow does. And secure folder might legit be a pain in the butt, but we'll see. Definitely takes longer to switch, but it's looking like it's not gonna fuck up my screen size. Okay, it did fuck up my screen size, but I think that's because this is a different app. If it was the same app, I don't think it would have done that. Though I am not seeing how to change the screen size on this. Weird, it was really easy to do that for a normal app, but with Secure Folder, it's not working with me here. Huh. I'm legit confused. Like, here I can show it. So, like, this is the app, right? And on a normal app, you can just change it to be, like the screen size of Samsung Dex itself. But I don't see how to do that with this one. Where if I go to, like, regular FGO, it's taking up the full screen size. But I had to change that. I had to set it to do that. And what was there to let me set it to do that's not there for Secure Folder. That's a bit worrying. You can buy the event, the Edmund event in the Rare Prism shop. Alright, hold on, give me a second here. Is Lost here? Because I know Lost uses Samsung Dex. I want to know if he has seen how to fix this, because that's weird. On a regular app, it'll show like the thing to make it full screen and things like that, but on Secure Folder, it's not doing that. Yeah, he's probably at work right now, I would think. This will be a problem if I can't stream my ult account this way. I could still use Samsung Flow for the ult account, but then we're gonna have the new UI bullshit that looks like crap, and my NPs will have blue bars and all that wonderful garbage. Yeah, Beowulf has never had a solo rate up in the entire time he's been in the game. He's only had one rate up ever, and it was split, and it was split every single day. So it really is bullshit for Beowulf fans. It's a pain in the ass to get an NP5 Beowulf if you don't get lucky. Like, seriously, you can be a whale, or you could be saving up as a free-to-play for years. You have had no opportunities to actually NP5 Beowulf. Like, it's crazy. I tell you, if you're a Beowulf fan, even though he's not story locked, he's a really, you should pick him for your free 4-star ticket, because yeah, you don't really have other opportunities. Man, I have no idea how to adjust the resolution on this thing. This is crazy. I wonder if Secure Folder just doesn't like work this way. That's really strange though. Surely there's a way to do this. Well, maybe we just bust out Samsung Flow to just show how much worse it is. And like we can kind of show people that haven't seen like the UI stuff with different screen sizes why it's so messed up. Cause yeah, I'm sure there's a way. I'm sure there's a way, but I'm not seeing it. All right, we'll bust out Samsung Flow and we'll show how fucking messed up the new UI is. Cause I guess for some NA people, they might not have even seen it. Cause I figure people that play JP and they happen to have a different screen size, they've probably already seen it. But there's probably some people that's not the case. I showed it last night. I'm not looking forward to this. It's just so messed up that no matter what you do, you can't have your screen look good and your NPs look good. Look at the way they changed it, and that I'm not a fan of. Alright, here we go. Good old Samsung Flow. So what Samsung Flow does is it just straight mirrors your phone screen, right? It just 100% mirrors your phone screen. And you actually play, like you click the phone and everything. And so the size that you're seeing right now, this is my phone size. Like that is what my phone's like, I don't know how to put it, but it's resolution or whatever, that's what it is there. And that black bar included, that's normally part of the screen, but FGO. Alright, so, you know, normally you just resize it, right, to fit the screen, but because the resolution is so weird, there's no way to make this fit the screen size anymore, right? Like, you just can't, because it's using this, like, abnormally long screen size, right? So, I could change, like, my resolution settings in OBS, and I could make it better than this. I don't know if I could fix it entirely, but you could make it, like, somewhat better than this, right? Now, even if I did that, though, the problem is, every time you NP, the resolution changes, and then so it wouldn't match. And here, we're in gameplay, so I can show it right now. Who would you like to see get an animation update the most? Was Samson. Dear God. Now, objectively, I think Ushi deserves it the most, but Sanson's right up there with her, pretty much tied, and ooh, that's loud. Hold on. Alright, so yeah, we have this really weird resolution going on right now thanks to this update, and then watch what happens when we NP here. Actually, why did I bring this team? This is my AoE team, and this is a single target stage. What am I? Anyway, we'll make it work somehow. Actually, I could probably kill this guy without NPing, but I'm going, like, seriously, I should probably Buster Chain and kill this guy and save my NP. But I'm going to NP just to show it. And there we are. See, and see that screen size I could make that screen size fit, right? Like I could expand that and just, you know, hide the blue bars and it would fit just fine, right? And now we're back to this, right? So FGO is really good, man. They're really doing the updates that make sense. God, it's just so mind-blowing to me. Oh god, I should have saved my MPs. I just remembered that we have to fight the whale with like 400,000 health. Oh boy. This was not a good team for this. But what's in the back row? Okay, we'll probably be fine. We can't just have Achilles go burr. But yeah, see, normally I could just adjust my screen resolution. See, that, like, if I could have it as that resolution all the time, it would be fine, right? And if it was the other resolution all the time, it would be kind of fine. Not great, but it'd be kind of fine. But yeah, not a fan of the way they changed this, man. Hopefully, though, I'm gonna find a way to get my ult account running on Samsung Dex, and so I can, like I said, I can forcibly upscale the game, and then this won't be a problem anymore. Because these black bars suck, man. Like, who wants this shit? I am glad, though, I can at least stream my main account without this being a problem. Alright, let's see how much damage we get here. Probably won't kill it, actually, so we'll have to do a little bit of extra work here. Yeah, I should have brought, like, at least one single target person. That would have done fine. Yeah, I know people have been saying it's more cinematic, but that's such a sad game. And now I'll show off the UI problem. By the way, every time you go into story, it does this as well, right? Because again, the story doesn't have the art assets to support the change. So, because the thing is, they didn't change anything. They added stuff. Like you can see this, right? The UI is obviously supposed to stop with the master's portrait, right? And roughly after like Achilles. First skill and stuff, but it kind of just extends beyond that just cuz, right? And that's kind of, and because they don't actually have like the text resolution for the names for the servants, like that. They don't have that ready to be upscaled and stuff. Hey, thank you, Black. Is that Bartholomew? I don't even know. I'll just go Bar. Anyway, thank you for the sub, man. I appreciate it. All right, we didn't kill. That's disappointing. The question is, can we kill now? Dirty 4 turn, by the way. That would have been a 3 turn if I just brought a single target person, but I did not. But yeah, it's because all the UI stuff is the same size. That's the thing. They didn't they don't have the assets to upscale it. So Everything looks whack, and like that's why the really big screens don't support this update at all. Look at this. Look at this. It's obvious where this is supposed to stop, right? But it doesn't. You know, they can't upscale. It's so amateur, dude. It's so fucking amateur. Like this is so amateur. Like, are you kidding me? Like, look at this. Look at this shit. And people are like, it looks less crowded. How does this look less crowded, right? The space between the master icon and the stages and the mailbox is all the same, right? This literally, everything's the same. They just filled in your screen with nothing, right? Like, look at the scroll bar. See the scroll bar? That's obviously where the UI is supposed to stop. You know, this shit over here doesn't do anything, right? All it does is, you know, result in LOL black bars, right? I would much prefer not having this blank space that does absolutely nothing and then have a resolution that's actually supported by YouTube and Twitch and everything. Instead, I have to have this bullshit resolution that's not supported by anything so I can have this fucking empty space here. Wow! Right, and that's what, it's like, you're not getting more space because the active part of the game is still the same, right? It's you know, basically your master icon to the scroll bar, right? And that hasn't changed, and that's why this update doesn't work on a lot of the tablets that are huge, because it would be this screen size, right? You'd have this. Can you imagine how dumb that would look? You would have the same thing where Achilles is here with the master icon there and everything. And you would just have an ungodly amount of this space here. Like, you just have that space for ages. Right? Like, look how stupid this looks. Look at my master icon, right? Look at this shit underneath it, right? It's so obvious the UI is scaled and is supposed to stop where the master, you know, icon and everything is, your AP bar. And yet, it's not, you know, and if you were going to do this properly, you know, you would have the art assets and everything ready that you could boop. You could boop that master icon and AP bar into the corner like it's supposed to be. Because then it would legitimately be less crowded, right? And like the back button up at the top there, that would be, you know, up in the corner and to the side as well. But they don't have the assets to do that, right? Because that's going to throw off like where the bar is and where the shop icon is and where the scroll bar is. Because they don't actually have the UI to support this, right? And look at this. Look at this. Look at this! Like, it's obvious they did not make this, you know, upscalable, right? Whenever they made this UI, they didn't actually make the blue background and the closed text and the icons for the menu. They didn't make those much larger than downscale them, right? They didn't do that, so they don't have the ability to actually upscale these to actually fit the screen size. So you have all this, like, extra space for no reason, right? Like, it's just so amateur, dude. Like, this is a dead giveaway that your game doesn't have proper resolution support, right? Like, it's obvious. It makes it look worse, right? And not only does it make it look worse, it makes the player forced to use, again, a resolution option that is not supported by YouTube and Twitch and everything, right? In 2020, we're not supporting YouTube and Twitch here. It's great. Now, like I said, thankfully on my main account, I can use Samsung Dex and I can forcibly, you know, upscale the game and it kind of works, right? And it's much better. But yeah, this sucks. Like, how is it worth it? I don't understand how anyone thinks that it's worth it to have, you know, the NPs risk, you know, changing your screen size all of a sudden, right? You're switching between two different, you know, screen sizes when you do an NP. And I haven't actually checked, but I've been told when you do a story, that does it as well. How is it worth it for that to happen now so you can have this filler crap on your menu? Like, how does this look good, right? Look at the mailbox. It's obvious that should be, you know, lower down and everything. It just isn't, right? So, like, we have all this bullshit resolution and our NPs look fucked and our story looks fucked just so we can have filler space on our menus. That doesn't even do anything. Like, wow. Color me not impressed, right? Like, that's pathetic. All right, let's check something that's got a story element here, and we'll see if it goes into. And look at that! Oh my God, look at this! And again, if this was a thing, right? Because like Seven Deadly Sins kind of looked like this for a while, though they actually did an update recently, and now they got it so it, like if you play on PC, it does fill out the screen size properly now, but it didn't do that originally. but at least it wouldn't force you into a resolution option that would, wouldn't work on YouTube and all that kind of stuff, right? So if you're gonna have that, it's one thing to have that filler space on your UI. It's still kind of amateur and stuff, and you should, like 7 Deadly Sins eventually fixed it. You should be working towards fixing it. And instead, FGO works towards this instead of actually fixing it, which is just ridiculous, right? But yeah, then 7 Deadly Sins didn't force you into some fucked up, UI scaling nonsense. Yeah, we gotta get that Rise fan buff. All right, let's see. I mean, oh my god, this just... I hate this, man. And you can see the start button just floating there. It's like, what? By the way, you get mana prism fragments. I mean, yep, it goes right back. See, this is so frustrating. I'd rather just have it either this way all the time or never, right? Because if it was like this all the time, see this I could actually scale into a video format, like for Sony Vegas or whatever, or for a stream like we're doing right now. See, like this I can work with, right? See, then you just do that. There you go. This is a normal resolution size, right? And so no problem. But if I did that, right, see now the screen looks like normal, right? We don't have, black bars everywhere and everything. But as soon as we go into gameplay, now it's going to be, misfit and it's not going to look right anymore, right? It'll look right every time we NP. Every time we NP, it'll look normal. But then the menus are going to be all, completely fucked up. Yep, see, now we're cutting all, I mean, this is, you could stream this is bearable, right? Like, and I probably would stream it like this if I have to use Samsung Flow, which hopefully I don't have to, but but we're obviously cutting off, our precious Mage Association rank, right? We're cutting that off on the side there, and we're cutting off part of the rider tip and everything. And so at my screen though, there's a bunch of filler bullshit, going beyond that, obviously, right? So yeah, I guess if we do stream it though, we'll have to do it like this. This does look better. It looks really stupid. I can't quite get it, the screen to fit like I used to, but I can get it pretty close. Yeah, so if we have to use Samsung Flow, we'll just snip it, and we'll get it that way. But hopefully I can make this work with Samsung decks. I think I can. If I can get my main account to work, I'm pretty sure I can get my ult account to work. So hopefully we won't have to use Samsung Flow anymore. But if for whatever reason we do, this will be our answer for now, and we'll just cut off, some of this, filler crap and whatnot. Because, yeah, see, now you're not going to notice it. I'll notice it on my screen, but you all aren't going to notice, like, if we do Dwayne's NT here, you're not going to see the resolution change all of a sudden. It is changing all of a sudden, but you won't notice it, well, hopefully, anyway. Okay, you can kind of see the blue there. I can fix that, though. That's, it'll take me a while to find the right screen size to work with all this nonsense, but it's good enough. I'm pretty sure I'll get it to work with Dex. So I actually think Dex looks a little bit better than Flow does on stream. Not much different, though. The one thing I don't like about Dex, though, is just that delay. The slight, like, latency, because you have to use your mouse as your interface. You can't click your screen. It won't let you, so... Oh, hi, Kyohime. I am happy to murder you. More cinematic, indeed. But yeah, so most games these days, and even, before FGO, really, would generally set up, they make UI options that were designed to be scalable, right, from the beginning, right? So this wouldn't be a problem. WoW didn't, by the way, way back in the day for World of Warcraft, their UI and all that stuff wasn't designed to be scalable with, like, a lot of different resolution options and stuff, but they changed it, right? They're like, oh, that's a problem, so we need to update our UI and update our resolution options and update our refresh rate, right? And so now, they do have those things, and their UI does scale with screen size and everything, but yeah, FGO doesn't, so... I guess that's supposed to represent her in P, I guess. That really would be their kind of thing to fix the command code UI, is just speed up the animations instead of actually fixing it. This is Rice Man's interlude. I have no idea why we're fighting losing me. Oh, that one's on a servant now. See, I should have done, well, it doesn't matter, but I should have done Gills first, right? Because I was saving Gills because I thought it was still going to be Kiyohime. Right, so he would have done really big damage, but yeah, Snake's not a servant. I don't know if she wants to eat rice, but she's gonna, I would imagine. Oh yeah, let's see how much free nonsense we get here. So that's 6 SQ right there. Yeah, they're always generous with that kind of stuff, but those are free reses that we don't need, and I would never use even, we did do the main story. Oh yeah, more UI awesomeness here. See, I got 1 SQ there for being master level 10. And I actually got another one, but I can't dilute it. You can see at the top there that there's like that red number indicating that you got another reward, but I can't click it. I have to click off the tab, and then back, and then there it is, because, you know, DW totally knows how to do UI. Eventually, these start being worth more than 1 SQ. Right now, I'm only getting 1 SQ for them, but, yeah, see, now it's worth 2. And eventually, they get turned into 3, so... I'm telling you, man, the tuna can emote has never been more appropriate. That's just... Jesus, man. Now we're getting 3. There's 2 more. Yeah, wow, I will say, it's a lot of freaking SQ, man. Too bad Gilgamesh isn't rated up. Yeah, I've got quite a bit, but yeah, I'm not planning on rolling. Unless they add like a new character that I really want, but I don't want it enough to do it on my main account. Or until Gilgamesh gets rated up and we try to get that MP5. We'll use our summon ticket though, why not? I don't know why this doesn't expire. I don't even get the point, but I guess they're wanting this to be like a... They're wanting people like, oh guys, it's a good time for new players to get in because you can like get through all the hard content with these free reses, right? Which that's just stupid. Good old Kodamine ACE there. Give me 1 second. I need to like grab a snack. I'm like dying over here. Be back in just a moment. All right, chat. I want your opinion. So I've given my rant and I've shown like why I think it's obvious that like they haven't been remaking the assets to actually be upscalable and everything. But do you all think? And I mean it's not an opinion. That's obviously the case. But do you all think that behind the scenes, like they're starting to make the assets, right? Like so I mean like they'd have to do a lot of stuff like this part where it says Party 1 and where the text is there and the back button and all the buttons at the bottom, like all of those would need to be remade to be, you know, up and down scalable, right? Yeah, everybody says no. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, it's so foolish of them if they're not, right? They absolutely should be, like, look at this. Look, I got my screen all set up to cut out all the bullshit that they have, but look at this. Look, like, it's so obvious that they don't have the assets to make the start button here, which Chad is kind of hiding, you know, fit where it's supposed to, right? It's painfully obvious that is the case, right? And so that's so amateur and, like I said, bad for the game in the long run that they absolutely need to be, you know, addressing this crap. Hold on, I gotta resize my window like dramatically. I kind of fucked it up big time. I don't know where the cutoff point was for like story and NP here, so I gotta use this as like a reference. Jesus, this is awful. Yeah, I really hope I can get Samsung decks to work for this because this sucks. Here, let me just start. I bet you if there's story, that'll give me a better reference point. Yeah, there we go. This must have been a really short interlude, though. It's only 2 stages. It seems to be Force Kiyohime to eat the story. I mean, I don't think most people they don't understand that like what this UI update is even a sign of. They don't I don't think they realize like how corner cutting this is. I mean, oh my god, it looks so dumb. Like you all can't see it because I cut it off, but like it's just so obvious like where the UI is supposed to stop, but it doesn't. It's like, oh god, why? I'm over here trying to play with my mouse because I'm used to decks already. Give me 1 second, I gotta go grab my food. We're basically out of food, so I had to just throw something in the microwave. Feels bad. Alright, I'm back. Now we're fighting, like, all the weebs. Now, what the hell, man? Well, I don't think they're gonna survive. Let's see what our damage is. How good is Saber Shiki? It kind of depends if you're on NA or JP, but she's good, but she's not the best AoE Saber by any means, but she's fine. She's very tanky. And she hits decently hard now. And I will say, there have been some challenge quests that have popped up from time to time that she's actually quite good for. We're talking lore-wise, I mean, Raiko, Kentoki, and Uchi are quite powerful, but I mean, Gil alone could probably beat them. But then if Achilles is there and Gwen, yeah, they would not have a chance. Like, not at all. I'm sure if they put it in an anime, it wouldn't make it a slaughter just because it makes a better fight scene, but there's no plot armor, man. That's just fucked. Like, I mean, Achilles is just ridiculous, dude. But for real, Kentucky and Raiko and Uchi are all, you know, pretty powerful. I mean, Kentucky's fucking crazy, and so is Raiko, but... I mean, Gil and Achilles are just so ridiculous, and Gwen's over there with, you know, the stats of God, so... Alright, let's see, what do we want to do here? Let's fight Edmund with somebody. You know what, we've been testing Steno a lot recently. Let's see how she do. We're better, oh boy, we're better at Charm a lot though. I'll fucking one-shot her. Whoa, no, 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 no. God damn it. Anybody want to know what I did wrong? Anyone want to take a guess on what I just did wrong? Anniversary Blonde, you are correct. That's not good. Make that one Buster card hit real hard, boys. You know what? I'm not gonna reset. We're gonna see what happens. One nice thing about this Edmund fight is you don't ever have to worry about him not doing enough damage to kill your taunts. Like, it's a total non-issue. You know, that drain might have been wrong. Edmund's like super immune to Charm and Lore, but in gameplay he's only immune to like his one skill up. So, should be fine. But yeah, in Lore, he's got multiple ways to get out of Charm. It's funny. Okay, let's see. Let's do it. What is this crit spread? What is this shit? You had one job, Steno. Crit, crit, crit! Yeah! Guys, we did... Wait, didn't Mordred do more damage when she was fighting an archer? I think she did. Steno's level 90, leave her alone. I mean, at level 90 is still pretty good. Edmund, would you like to not kill me here? Would you like, you know... No Buster crit, please. No, 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 no. Ooh. I'll take that, though. Okay. We're not gonna win. She might be able to win with Atlas. We'll see. Alright, I'm done eating. Pardon me. I think she'll have a pretty good performance once we give her a proper Mystic Code. That one turn though where he almost killed us but didn't, if we do die there, that will Oh. Any chance Ace is in chat right now? Any chance we could get a dot removal command code? Might be a little good. It won't kill us. It'll proc Guts though, and then Edmund will kill us. So, you know, same difference. Oh, thank God, Ace is here. We're saved! Because, yeah, we needed to restart anyway because our Mystic Code was obviously really wrong. Dude, I think I don't know, it's gonna be cutting it close, but with good command codes and the right Mystic Code, we might be able to win. We might not need a dot removal command code because we'll have Atlas to remove it, but the fight goes on long enough for him to NP twice, then we definitely will. And it might go on that long. If we're gonna win, we're gonna be here for a minute, right? Okay, well, we're dead now. Just crit forehead. No, didn't want to crit. I will say she does have a lot of damage up for her auto attacks. She's got that double attack up and the defense down. It's not bad. She might be able to beat this. We'll see. I don't know if I make it a video or not, just because I've already got a few videos of that kind of thing, so. I'd like to point out, I get kind of tired of this. It's not that it's not somewhat impressive, but people always think, like, soloing this stage here is, like, just such a big deal, and it's, like, it's so much harder than soloing this one. Which it's really not. It depends on the unit. For some units, this other stage here is just impossible to solo, right? Like, a lot of the class matchups just don't work. But for so many units, because the screen switches over and it's not break bars, you get so much bullshit extra value on that stage that you're not supposed to get. You basically have infinite cooldowns because of that. And although, yeah, there's more enemies to get through, you're getting such a massive bonus, they're almost trivial. And like, sure, especially short-term styled units are not going to be able to solo this. It's not like the list of things that can solo this stage here is massive, but the reason most units can solo it is not because their like overall value is like way higher than a lot of other people that can't solo it. It's just because that stage incentivizes very specific things because of the way, you know, stage switching works. That's like the whole reason that's a thing, right? Like, if it was those kind of stats that they were calling for and they were break bars, it wouldn't happen at all, right? That being said, it's certainly fun though, because it is very different from most stages, because you do get, you know, the free turn off your cooldown every time you switch stages, and each enemy's health isn't that high, so you can kind of burn through the waves quickly and kind of catch up on your cooldowns and stuff like that. So it's a unique thing, and it, you know, it's fun to have like certain units get rewarded by it. But I just see a lot of people act like, oh, because a unit did that, that means they're able to solo all these other things, surely. But it doesn't mean that. Like, a lot of units might be able to solo this and then like have some pretty sad things that they're unable. Like, Orion is a good example of this. Orion can solo some pretty crazy things. That's really surprising, right? And he can solo this stage and whatnot. But then there's some pretty like laughable basic B shit that he can't solo, right? Just because that, you know, his toolkit's got some pretty big holes in it. But it's also very good in certain circumstances too, right? Alright, let's see if Ace has got yeah, there we go. That's just dot removal in general, which is perfect. Although, does this version of Edmund have the other debuffs? Do we just guard them? I'm not really sure, because if we have other debuffs, we might remove those before the dot. Hopefully Atlas, though, will, between that and Atlas, I'm hoping we'll be fine. Yeah, that Artoria stage is, always fun to mess around with. And that Edmund stage is fun to mess around with, too. Like, absolutely. I just, a lot of times, seen people be like, oh, right, like, if a unit can solo Guadia, then they can solo anything. It's like, no. So many things can solo Guadia, but then they get fucking rolled by most, like, you know, proper, you know, fights. Yeah, Edmund has the defense down. Yeah, I'm thinking it might remove that first. That might get us killed. We'll see. Really bad opening hand here. As is the usual. This looks really weird, but I think it's the right thing to do. Rarely is this the right thing to do, but because his hand is so bad, I think we do that, and that way Charm comes off cooldown sooner. That if the fight goes on long enough, that's the right play. If the fight does not go on long enough and we just die, then that was a very bad play. Okay, fuck you, game. Fuck you, game. I'm doing all this work to try to get my cards before my... And it's all in the third hand. It's all... And that's the one hand I can't get to. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Alright, well, this is bad. We might be in a bit of trouble here. I'm gonna have to, try this again. I like how we just instantly got the NP charge back that we drained. Oh my god. We need we need to get that Leonidas cards moat made at some point. But how did I go through 3 hands without getting cards? Oh, hi, Ari. So, Ari, I'm not doing it right now because I haven't figured out how to make Samsung decks work with my ult account. I'm on the ult account right now, so thus my screen looking like shit right now. But Samsung Dex lets you forcibly upscale your apps to whatever you want, and so I can just scale it to like a screen size that's normal, so I don't have to deal with all the bullshit black bars and nonsense right now. So at least for the main account, I've got a fix for it, but the ult account's still fucked. But well, I think I can get the ult account to work at some point. Yeah, right now I'm just cropping it on the ult, but my main I've kind of fixed it, so. Always nice to have to rely on third-party programs to fix problems because the developer doesn't know how. It's great. Also, I can't fix the, you know, the UI bullshit, but you know. Do I charm? Let's see what's left in the deck. Another quick card buster and an art. I'm gonna try it. That's super risky. I'm being very greedy right now. Okay, that did not work out the way that I wanted it to. I was hoping to get at least 2 more of our cards. I mean, this is still way better than last time, but that probably wasn't worth charming when my taunts are still alive. He just will not attack as his first action there. God damn it, man! Holy shit! This is... Leonidas, please. Literally, you have a 50% chance to get a Brave Chain on Sinnoh, and I don't even get 2 cards. Well, we pretty much accomplished nothing that entire time. That was great. I'm gonna go max NP gain. Unregistered Spirit Origin animation update. You know, I legitimately would not put it past them for like when you get one, if they like add a fancy animation to the game for it or something. I wouldn't even put that past them. They're way more willing to add useless bullshit than they are to go back and fix things. Like, you know, redrawing their UI assets so they can actually be upscaled and downscaled and stuff. Like, they can't be bothered to do that, but, you know, updating the mailbox, you know, that they could do. Not being able to charm right now is not ideal. What's really bad about this is, if I get my EMP right now, I'll actually whiff the cooldown on my charm that I gained by using it early, which that would be really bad. But it's also not good to not get my EMP here, so I probably should have done art quick. Oh god. Why? There's so much missing value in this solo right now. Okay, I think we're gonna just not do the charm early. We're just gonna stop doing that. It's not great. Just gonna whiff my my second MP here. So I'm whipping 46% MP battery because of that. Not ideal. So y'all can't see it because I'm cropping it, but it looks so dumb. Like the game going back to its old resolution and then switching it. Like it's just... Oh boy! What? Just okay. I didn't need the drain anyway. It's fine. All right, we're gonna play like normal this time. We're not gonna do anything weird at the start. We're gonna hope we at least get a few cards. You know, and Leonidas doesn't take 4 out of 5 for a 3rd time in a row. You know, that would be great. Okay. Like I said earlier, I legit had hope because there was a version update, so we knew there was a patch and everything. And I knew there was no way the patch was going to be like a new event or a main story. So it was like, oh, it has to be quality of life stuff. So I had hope that, you know, very small amount of hope that maybe story replay, but I was like, yeah, it's probably not going to happen. But maybe command code UI fix, maybe some other, you know, maybe the friends list, getting, you know, things like, nope. Nope. How does this go? How? I don't understand how we've consistently gotten this bad of hands during the pre-turns. I just, like, every time, oh god. Actually, I probably should not have cast the attack buff there, but I really am hopeful that maybe behind the scenes they're slowly redrawing and remaking their UI assets, and this time they're gonna put them in the game with like a much bigger resolution so they can downscale them and then upscale them when needed, right? The reason why I think that's not gonna happen is the text. I truly think they did not put their text in the game like that from the get-go, and so they'd have to like re-enter all of the text all over again. Right, and they're not gonna do it. If they should, and a lot of other games have actually done shit like that, but Like I think that's a big part of why they're like, well, if we can't, you know, because if we fix all the other UI things so they can actually upscale and downscale properly, but then the text would look really bad and it'd be out of place. So let's make everything look bad and be out of place so it matches, right? That's what I feel like they're doing. And like, some people don't agree with me on this, but I truly think, and maybe Ari can speak to this because you know she does art stuff. I truly believe like this, like Stheno's sprite here, right? Her sprite portrait right here. I truly think whenever that was created by the artist, it was at some insane, you know, massive resolution that's way bigger than they would ever need, right? So if they needed to have, you know, that at a different resolution, that shouldn't be a problem. Like, that's just insane. Like, that is so ungodly unprofessional if that stuff wasn't originally a higher resolution. Now, what is possible is that the file in the game isn't that bigger resolution, and they just put it in at the resolution they wanted to have it at. And now that's an amateur level that I could see them doing, right? And most devs don't make those kind of mistakes anymore, but DW didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and I would not be surprised if like the file in the game for Stheno's portrait is actually the resolution size that we're seeing right now. I would not put that past them. So what they would have to do is, I'm sure they still have the source, right, from the artist, like surely they didn't like burn the hard drive, so they could take it out of the game and then literally put the same file in again, but at a higher resolution, and then it'd be customizable by the UI. To be upscale and downscale. That would still take, like, that's easy, but it's work, right? Because you'd have to do that for, like, every file, right? You have to do it for admin, you have to do it for every servant, every portrait, you know, you'd have to do it for, like, the, like I said, Adam versus the Mammoth, right? Because surely that picture was originally a much bigger resolution. So they'd have to take all that stuff out of the game and put it back in the game, right? So it's a lot of busy work. It's a lot of fucking busy work. And I suspect if the text is like this as well, they're gonna have to retype all the text too. And I don't think they're, I just don't think they're willing to do that. Everything about this update is like them being like, yeah, we'll do like the band-aid fix to kind of make it seem like we're updating our resolution, but we're not actually updating the resolution, right? So I'm very scared. I don't know. I truly hope I'm wrong. I so hope they have like a small team just constantly working on, okay, we're gonna make the text for the HP bars. We're gonna make, you know, the back button and the start button, you know, we're gonna remake those so they can be upscaled and downscaled and everything, and the background, you know, for the menu. You know, I'm hoping they're just working on those assets one at a time, and some poor bastard intern is having to, you know, type literally all of the text for all the story and interludes into the game again, and then, you know, maybe 6 months down the line we'll get another patch where they properly fix the resolution and UI and text and NPs and all that kind of shit. The NPs will take a lot more work than the other stuff, but I don't know, man. I mean, they should, like I said, you know, fucking Blizzard does this stuff, right? Blizzard updates their UI assets and all those things when the game became more modern and everything, and they fixed all those kinds of problems and stuff. It's a lot of work, but if you're a big game, you know, that's expected of you, and I mean, or you could have just done it right the first time, but you know, it's too late for that. Because overwhelmingly, devs now know that to future-proof their games, they need to, you know, make sure they have their art assets at, you know, a much better resolution, and then, you know, have these adjustable, and then have systems in place that can scale the UI. That's another thing, is I don't think the game actually even has the tools right now to adjust the UI based off of the monitor size. That's the problem, right? Because the game basically doesn't know what your screen size is. That's what's going on right now. That's why, like, the master icon in the mailbox and stuff isn't actually booping itself into the corner properly, right? And it's just kind of floating there. It's following the standard size of everything because the game is not detecting your screen size. So it doesn't know to scale the UI to your screen size, right? That's a big part of the problem. And I think that's why, like, a lot of tablets and stuff, like I said earlier, that's why they don't have this. Is because if they kept that ludicrous you know, gathering of, or how clumped together the UI is and stuff, and your screen's going to be showing all that filler, it would just be, you know, silly. I think it's silly as is, but that'd be such a level of nonsense that I don't think anyone would buy it. But some other games, apparently Grand Blue Fantasy, people are telling me that they're doing it slowly, but people were like, Persona was saying that slowly they're like updating their art assets and stuff, like for their UI and their background and everything, to be, you know, scalable and all that kind of stuff. And so they are slowly fixing it. Oh, thank God we didn't pop guts there. So if Grand Blue Fantasy is willing to do it, I would hope FGO is willing to do it, but we know how that works out sometimes. Alright, so far this is, like, it's not the best timeline because we had fuck all cards at the start, but this is a decent timeline here. Wait, who are we talking about? I'm not. What? Someone been in the stream for months. Oh, is that person annoying Rex? Yeah, like, dude, seriously, fuck off. Like, you're about to get banned. Like, it's all, you know, yeah, not, it's not like, oh, wow, you're behaving in a way that someone else doesn't like. That's not why you get in trouble, right? It's because you're harassing somebody. It's one thing if somebody says something I don't like, or Zaw doesn't like, or Rex doesn't like, right? But when you keep, you know, talking to them directly and harassing them directly, and they're telling you to stop, and you don't stop, that's obviously a bridge too far, right? Like, you gotta knock it off, man. Okay, let's see. I think I just let the NP go off here, right? Or is it better to use invulnerability now in case somehow this fight goes on long enough to get it back off cooldown? I guess, yeah, I might as well. Do I drain then though? No, that doesn't do me any good. It'd only do me good if it got me my NP. Green is not a creative color. Go fuck yourself. I mean, we're all welcome to have our wrong opinions. Well, for real, Aniplex and Sony aren't going to know the difference between a game that is properly scaling its UI and all that kind of stuff versus a game that just adds filler to the sides of the screen, right? They're not going to really know the difference, so... But as time goes on, this is my hope, because surely they know that, oh wow, we really didn't future-proof our game, our assets aren't in the game in a way that we can actually scale them all. Like, so I'm sure they're aware that they didn't future-proof the game, and that's a problem. And oh hey, we should start future-proofing the game now, because it's not like, because like right now, this Band-Aid fix, some people think is acceptable for like the devices and screen sizes that exist now, right? I don't, but some people do, right? But that's just now. It's not like now is the definitive time. You know, we're not living. Screens and technology are going to keep going forward, right? It hasn't stopped. You're behind the times, and you're still behind the times, and times are still moving forward. You need to future-proof your game, right? Like, you can't Band-Aid fix it so it kind of keeps up with what's here now. Because in the long run, it's more work. That's the thing, and that's why it's such a mistake to do what they're doing. That's why, like, World of Warcraft and other games like that don't do that. Because if you can do a proper, you know, UI scaling stuff from the beginning, and you have your assets in the game, and your fonts in the game, and all these things designed to be upscaled and downscaled, and you have a system to be able to detect the screens, yeah, whatever you link there, and you have systems in the game to detect not the game's resolution, but the user's screen, and so the UI scales appropriately, that is pretty much going to work forever, right? And you're not going to have to fix it again and again and again. Short-term fixes are generally even worse in the long run, because if you have to do these kind of Band-Aid fixes, you know, flex tape every single time, your game just gets so out of sync with, you know, the technology and the screen sizes and the refresh rates and all these things, and you keep having to Band-Aid fix it like this, in the long run, you're going to spend way more money and way more time doing that, opposed to the one time you did a fuckload of work to future-proof your assets, right? And like clearly, Grand Blue Fantasy realizes that, because they're actually trying to future-proof their assets. Where, and I guess DW just, you know, missed the memo. So it sucks, man. I don't want to hate on FGO. I don't. I want FGO to be awesome, right? I want the, you know, I want it to be the best it can be, but they consistently disappoint me. Like, surely they would learn from this, right? How not future-proofing their game in the past really caught up with them. I'm just worried they're thinking, oh, hey, we caught up kind of with the times, and so now it's fine, right? Like the times aren't going to continue moving forward. Okay, this is where shit's gonna start getting weird. Can I get my NP from Triple Quick? I don't know if it's worth. Nah, I shouldn't even try because I've got the 50% crit now. I might as well take it. So. Not that it crit, mind you. She's doing well. I think we're gonna get bonked before our skills from the Mystico come back. The thing is, it's not about a game being perfect. It's about literally having standards. You don't really find games anymore that are like this, right? And the few relics from the past that have stayed relevant from, like, 5 years ago, 10 years ago and stuff, they have updated to fix these basic things, right? It's not like people are expecting FGO to overhaul their entire graphics engine, right? No one's saying something crazy like that. Although some games have done that too, actually. But, it really is not asking for too much for them to, fix their fonts and fix their UI buttons and have a system that can detect your screen size and things like that's. And the thing is, what's cool is once you have a system that can detect screen sizes and shit, and the UI adjusts to that, you can actually add an options menu that lets the user pick a resolution that they have a preference for. Imagine that, right? So for example, on PC, now there are some PC games that don't, scale properly to your screen size and all that nonsense, because, some people are dinosaurs, but so on PC, let's say your screen size is huge, or it's just a weird screen size, right? There's all kinds of monitors out there. So let's say your monitor is a size that isn't actually the resolution you want for the game, right? Just because you don't like it looking that way, or maybe you're going to record a video, or you're going to stream to Twitch, and whatever your monitor size is not an aspect ratio that you actually want, right? So even though your screen can fill up, you would rather go into your options menu, click a button to change the resolution and aspect ratio to what you want it to be, and then, then you record that or you stream that and it matches up YouTube to YouTube. Because the thing is, your screen size is not always your monitor size, your phone size, your tablet size, your TV size. That's not always going to be an aspect ratio or a resolution that is going to sync up with Twitch and YouTube and things like that. So you might not, even though you can use it, it doesn't mean you necessarily want to, right? And it's the same thing for phones, right? If you have a UI that can actually scale and it detects your monitor size, you can add to the options menu where people can actually customize their fucking resolution options, because in case they don't want to use the maximum size of their phone, like how it is right now. I don't actually want to use that extra bullshit length inch nonsense on my phone, and I'd rather, have it, have like the bars on the side or whatever, so it actually fits YouTube and shit, right? Like, what a concept! And it's 2020! Do you realize how, nothing I'm saying, this is not advanced UI classes here, right? This is basic bitch shit, right? Games have been doing this for forever because people are around. Yeah, of course people's monitor might not actually be, the aspect ratio that you want to use for playing or streaming or all. Because again, it's 2020 and video games and streaming and YouTube and everything is like a huge part of everything. And even without streaming and YouTube and stuff, you just might not like the aspect ratio of your monitor. Like, holy shit, that's not that crazy. Because seriously, I have like right now I have like my dual monitors. And each of my monitors actually has a different aspect ratio and stuff. And sometimes I don't like the size of it. And in games, for 90% of games on PC, I can literally change the aspect ratio to whatever I want in case I don't like it. Right? This is not crazy. All right, so we're about to get blasted and lose guts. So if we don't have our MP, we die. So I have got to get my MP right now. So I'm gonna do that number. Yeah, that flex tape, that really is DW right now, and it's not good. It's a bad mindset. That's the thing. Some people are like, oh, it looks fine, blah, 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 blah. It's not really the point, right? If you think it looks good or bad, it's subjective. And I think anyone that thinks it does look good would still agree it would obviously look better if, like, the master icon and the start button and the back button were actually in the proper places on your screen instead of just, like, floating. I mean, I don't think anyone would disagree with that. And again, it's the fact that this is obviously not future-proof. I don't see why anyone would argue, oh yeah, it's totally a good idea to not future-proof the game now. Okay, we are just absolutely not going to live much longer, so Actually, I probably should have gone for damage there, because there's really no way we're going to get another CC turn. Now see, where this kind of gameplay excels is when you're fighting an enemy that maybe you're counterclassing. So you get a lot more out of your health bar, because that's kind of the way we could get more out of this, is not having guts go off that soon, things like that, and having more value out of your health bar, where, you know, we're not getting that right now. But honestly, she did pretty well. You could probably do a little bit better than this. We didn't get good cards at the beginning and things like that. But I don't think you could do too much better than this unless you were like 100 with better command codes and, I don't know, the Yang CE or something crazy like that. So this is close to about as good as we could get it with her. So I don't see her like soloing this reliably by any means, but still not bad for being at neutral and this being such a bad boss for her and that kind of thing. Wasn't too bad of a performance. If she was totally maxed out, like 100 2k foe, man card boost, command codes as well, maybe she'd be able to beat that. It'd still be close. I mean, what are we short here? We're short 150,000. That's a lot. You know, extra higher. You could have a much higher attack stat between 2k foes, 100 card boosts, command codes, all that. But I don't know about 150k. That's a good bit. Maybe if you got really lucky with critting along the way, maybe. Managed to save 1,500 SQ for Mothman. You're in pretty good shape. Yeah, that's always a good feeling, man, to be saving up for a long time and whatnot. I always enjoy that. Honestly, I thought that was a really good performance. So, wow, you're gonna Grail to 100 someday? Jesus. Wow. I look forward to testing that. It's funny. Steno's not my favorite character by any means, but I really have enjoyed her gameplay and like kind of seeing how far you can take the bullshit. So. And between Uriel and Steno is definitely the better one, but yeah, definitely not my favorite character, but good gameplay. Freaking Bin K-Man. Let's see. If we go back to the main and maybe fight the million HP dragon or something. We haven't really done that in a while. We'll do Edmund with somebody one more time, and then we'll switch that up. Do we try Lee? It'd be kind of fun. Test out some other assassins. I don't like that CE here though. You definitely want starting NP for this fight, but it's still not bad. Yeah, let's give it a go. See what happens. Dude, I know it's so bad if you miss that one Christmas event because it had such a good command code in it, and they never reran the damn thing. So no one else has gotten a chance at it. I really hope at some point, maybe this Christmas, they'll put it in the main interlude thing, and then you can get the command code through the main interlude. You can actually pig here? Oh damn. You know, do we have enough AP? Maybe we test that before we switch back to the main. Because yeah, it's all such old content. I'm just guessing. Oh, okay. Well, I think you're probably guessing right though, because this is such old content that I don't think they would have thought to make it immune to the pig. I can't believe vanilla comma boss fight though in the maze event we made it into the pig. Like, how did they even think of that? So fucked up. I guess she was being counterclassed by Cersei, so maybe they put some thought into that. Now I will say, it's not the biggest. I generally think this stage is best for testing support type NPs or AoE, and obviously even Lee's not AoE, because like, to be fair though, not every straightforward single target person can solo this, but the number of things that can solo this at neutral with single target is pretty high, from what I've seen. But the number of AoE things that can do it is pretty low, so it's kind of a good way to push AoE people and kind of see how far they can go. Although I will say, this is really tough on people, single target or no, that just don't have a lot of survivability, because Edmund just shreds you, man. Like, you can have amazing loopy DPS bullshit, and then Edmund just fucking buster crits you and you die, and it's like, well, okay then. So yeah, it rewards people a lot for having good CC or evade or that kind of thing, because Yeah, Edmund cares not for your health bar. 20% guaranteed more damage, or a 10% higher chance to crit, within a 25% damage bonus. I think we go with the guaranteed damage, because I just 40% is not enough. It would be nice if Pig didn't work. Maybe they make Cersei do like slightly higher damage or something. That'd be kind of nice. Like just something to not make it feel like absolute crap. The one thing that's bad, we could have gotten our NP a turn sooner, and we wouldn't be whipping so much right here. I don't think we use our first skill right now. I haven't dropped any frames, so I don't know. Sometimes it's not Twitch though. There's all kinds of things that can cause it. Like it can be, you know, local internet things in like the area, like your ISP just dropped a turd, right? It can be a specific Twitch server, right? Because they have different servers all over the fucking planet. So there's all kinds of things that can cause it, and like my internet could blip, my computer could blip, although that I don't think happened, but like there's a lot of things that can cause it. Well, Cunning have to use it now. Not very likely to crit here though. Shit, we're gonna... I was trying really... We needed to have our health bar last until the NP, so I could invulnerability that and then get my evade back. That would be how we win. It's sad. It looks like we're really far away from winning, but we're actually not. Like, seriously, if I could wait one turn to use invulnerability, then I could then get my evade back again. And if I don't get my evade back again, that means I shouldn't have brought Atlas in the first place. So we're so close to getting quite a bit more value here. This is where like a gut CE would be better, or starting in PC just got the damage in sooner. If you did starting in P though, you probably wouldn't use Atlas. Because if we brought a damage CE and like maybe default, you know, you might have been able to get another turn out of your health bar with the heal. And we basically would have NP'd an extra time with the damage. That sucks how close we are. You can probably do this with him. I would definitely think so. You just need to sync that up a little bit better. Well, at least we die in style. Got some cheeky crits in there. Yeah, sometimes he does ignore invincibility as his first action and then attacks and really messes you up. Thankfully that doesn't happen much. Yeah, his animations are great. Yeah, I actually really, I'm probably giving this away over my streams, but like this is no surprise. I really like the stuff that's like simple and impactful, right? Like I don't want Billy doing fucking gun fu. I just want him to shoot them, right, and get good sound effects and that kind of thing. A lot of times simpler is better. You know, it depends on what you're doing in the character and all kinds of other things, but yeah, I don't generally care for the way over the top flippy bullshit. All right, let's see if we can get Airy in here. Atlas, I guess, because it means we could get our first skill back. All right, if we get like an art chain, we don't use our first skill, but if we don't, we use our first skill, I think. Yeah, I did too, Finn. I'm hoping to do more of that soon. Yeah, I love duoing with people. It's awesome. And actually, I tell you, that event, I'm glad that we figured it out, how to duo it, because it's really fun having to like cover each other to let the other one turn in and all that. If you're not duo, you don't have to worry about that. Alright, oh shit, we got that command code though. It's so tempting. It's so tempting! What if I first skill an NP and then Buster Art and then taunt and everything? That's kind of wasting the pig, but then I start don't even. Let's see, George gives 20, Leonidas gives 15, so that's 35, and that's 45 with the command code, and then it's like 5 off her art card. So we would need another 50 NP on the next turn. That is not very likely. We would have to get an art chain in the next turn. I actually really enjoy playing Genshin with Zaw, but then he steals shit from you. He's like, you know, he's like that really awesome. He's like Black Bart, right? You know, he's charming and all this stuff. And then when you look the other way, he's fucking robbing you. It's like, you son of a bitch. But okay, let's see. By the way, Black Bart is awesome, and I hope he buff his MP. Do I just first skill and then do normal things? I don't know what to do. Cersei has a lot of decisions to be made, man. Oh, hi, Lost. Oh, Lost. I'll show you in a second, because I'm not using Dex right now, but I'm going to be using Dex in a second. I'm having trouble, like, a normal app that I launch in Samsung Dex, I can forcibly, like, change the resolution and everything, and it's all fine. Where I can't seem to do that with Secure Folder. I can't get the alt account in through Secure Folder to actually let me put it in full screen or anything like that. I can't like adjust the window size at all. And that's why I'm actually on Flow right now because I'm on my alt account, which is why your screen is cut off and all fucked up because, you know, this update is amazing. Okay, I think I'm gonna regret this so much. I think I NP. I really do think we just NP right now. Do I do the Buster third place or do I go? No, we're gonna maximum NP gain. I think it's a security feature. Yeah, it's probably something in Secure Folder. Cause that's gonna suck if every time I want to stream my ult, I have to use Flow because then I have the bullshit crappy resolutions in this update that I hate to death. Because I don't even stream my main account that much. That's the thing. I literally don't I don't stream my main account that. Maybe I switch it around. I could. What? How is it? Why? This is like 80-year-old content. How on earth did they actually bother to make him immune to the pig? I cannot think. These fucks can't be bothered to go back and like redo the art for like their text backdrop in the story to fit the resolution size, and they can't be bothered to change the back button to fit the resolution size. They can't go back to do that shit, but they can go back to fucking Edmund's event and make him immune to the pig? I don't understand. I cannot believe that they actually. Why did they do this? Why did they make Cersei so bad? I don't understand. Why were they this scared of, like, I get it, right? If she had a really good NP gain, it would be broken, right? It's just like if Scath had really good NP gain, it would be broken. The difference is, Scath has bad NP gain, but at least her stun actually works. Whereas Cersei, she has really bad NP gain, and her stun doesn't work. So it's like, I don't get the logic here. Is it because she's a 4-star? Is that why they don't want a 4-star being that good? Hey, this is nonsense. But yeah, Beastly or Lost, do you know any way to change the screen size for things in Secure Folder? Because if not, I'm gonna have to. I can switch my account or something. I don't know. Because seriously, I don't stream my main account a lot, so it'd probably be better for my main account to be in Secure Folder and my ult account to be in my normal folder. It's like when a new story comes out, you know, I'm gonna be streaming the ult account and making videos for the other one. Yeah, Ari, that is accurate. I have done it before. It's updating Dex at the moment, so let me check. Okay, I'm glad there's hope here. Oh my god, I'm so pissed. I'm so fucking pissed that we couldn't pig there. That's just... Guys, oh my god. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, that's just... Like, look how bad her value is because of that. It's stupid. Although I played pretty badly this time, because I was playing as though pig was gonna work, which it didn't, so I shouldn't have done what I did on turn 1, and I should have used like my defense down sooner. I should have done a lot of things differently, but I cannot fucking believe we have this boss and do that. That is so wild. Ari, do you feel like that they may have made like a retroactive trait in the game, like a flag that applies to anything that they think is considered a main boss? Like they've done some kind of like, you know, under the hood thing that they can like retroactively blanket apply to a lot of things, and there's some kind of like check for, oh, this is considered a main boss, and then if anything that's considered a main boss, the game is like, no, you can't pig it. But you can pig the guy in the farming stage, guys, because you know you need to crowd control in a farming stage, obviously.
任せろ。いいとも。
Like, have we ever found a main boss that's pickable? I'm pretty sure you can pick Old Lee in Lost Belt 3. Okay, yeah, see, story replay would be really nice because then we could test this. Although we could test it on the newbie account. No way, that's not there. It's the 1 to 3 star account. We could test it on that. You know what? Let's do that real quick. I'm gonna bust out the 1 to 3 star account because we're at Lee and we'll summon Aerie and we'll see what happens. I'm expecting failure, but you never know. All right. Dude, I have to use so many different programs to actually stream now. For every account, I'm having to use a different program. It's getting a little silly. This update did not do things that I particularly approved of. Yeah, well, we'll just check to be sure. I'm hopeful that it does work, but we'll see. I don't know though. Maybe he's not considered a main boss because he's not Mothman. Because did it work on Mothman? Because that's really what would be telling if they've done some kind of retroactive change. Do I not have you added, Aerie? Yeah, if not, I'm gonna have to grab you here. Look at Aerie putting spaces in between each 3 digits, so it's like very easy to like, you know, keep track of where you are, and if you need to like look back, you know where to look, and then you have TF that's just like, I'll just slap all this in one sandwich. Oops, I just killed my sound. There we go. By the way, this boss would be so much easier, like on the crap account, if we actually summoned Aerie Cersei. That would make it a lot easier. Let me just grab my loot real quick here. I don't know what you need to do to win those, but clearly I haven't done them. God, I could use those to beat Lee on this account, but chat would never forgive me if I did that, and I wouldn't forgive myself either. That'd be so lame. Level a CE, I believe? How have I not done that on the crap account? Please tell me you don't have to level like a 4-star or 5-star or something, so we don't ever level those. Wait, that's not the friends list. That's the friends list. I blame the tuna can for that. Do we have Aerie? I don't think we do. Wait, is this? No, these are the ones I have added. Alright, let's see. I don't think so. Okay. Okay, there's mine. Let me find Aerie's again. Don't click the follow button, that's bad. I like how you can still click the follow button even though you're past 1.0. Doesn't even make sense. That song, Aerie. Did we just crash? What? Game, please. Oh my god, I think we just crashed. What? Technical difficulties. Okay, I think we're good. So lost. Any luck with the resizing nonsense? The thing is, I think the follow system is pretty pointless. It's not that hard to find friends, man. Like people, even people that are way out of your league, a lot of times will add people that are like, you know, really shitty because they want the FP. And you can always go into Discord and add, like, you go to our Discord, for example, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, and you, I mean, like, Beastly will add you for God's sakes, and Beastly's a monster, right? So it's not that hard to get good support lists anyway. But I think the follow system is just like a really lazy way to let people autopilot beat the main story, right? Which is just, I don't think it's good for the game, I really don't. Alright, we'll just literally throw it. We don't need to make a team because we don't want to win. We just want to use our NP and see what happens. Oh yeah, the game is a little loud, excuse me. This fight's not that bad if you're not handicapping yourself. I will say this fight is so brutal if you handicap yourself, but there's a lot of ways where you can, like, there's so many supports that can just blow this up. Yeah, I will say insta-death is almost always lame in fights like this because it's like if it procs, it's so much harder, and like the value requirement called for you is so much higher. But then if it doesn't proc, then it, you know, it's much lower. It's just that's dumb. If this doesn't work, I swear to God. I think the one that we need to test, I think, is Mothman before he gets his immunity. Because if it doesn't work on Mothman, because that I would assume is the one we consider the final boss. So. Or that tier, that caliber. There we go. I tell you, it has been so long since I've seen any kind of threatening boss actually get pigged. Like, my God, it's been so long. By the way, look at that. I think we might just break. I didn't even do buffs or anything. Okay, we did. But look how easy you could break with her. Remember how we're like struggling to break that first health bar in turn 1? Look how easy she does it, right? Because, you know, Ares is very strong. I was right, thankfully, indeed. That'd have been so disappointing if that didn't work. Yeah, honestly, I think Cersei would be fucking godly for that fight. I think she would help quite a lot. Because if he's a pig, he can't insta-death you and crit you and all that nonsense. He can't cast evade, right? That's the thing. If you like almost break but don't, and then the boss casts evade, it's such a freaking problem. Where with the way that, you know, is, he can't do it. So it's not a big deal. All right, let's go to Samsung Dex here and see what. I might just stream my main account now, but if we can see a way to fix it, we will. But it's sounding like there doesn't seem to be a good way to do that. It does seem to remember your window size, though, because like this, if I'm right, yeah, it just fits my screen, just like that. That's pretty cool. The one thing that's kind of awkward, I haven't found a good way to actually launch FGO through. Oh, here we go. That'll be that one. That'll do it. And then so you click this, which makes it, oh, you have to you have to restart it? Okay. Let's say you click that, and then it just makes it, whatever you set the window to be, it will force the game to be that size, so you can make whatever aspect ratio you want, right? So you I'm basically making my aspect ratio an aspect ratio that fits the generic UI, so you don't have all the stupid bullshit. But yeah, I can't seem to get, I can't seem to get, you know, my ult account to work. Someone call DW and tell them Old Lee and Lost Belt 3 can get pigged. There's a bug. Yep. Feels bad. Oh, let me use my event stuff here. I will say, I do like Samsung Dex though. I do like it more than Flow. It takes a little bit more effort to like set things up and stuff, but the only thing I don't like about it is because you can't, I don't know why, but they don't let you use your phone while your phone is like being printed onto your computer. I don't know why, but because of that, there's a little bit of like latency between like the command you send and it actually happening. So like I said earlier, it'd be awful for Arc Knights. Like it'd be fun. Wait, I think I've already Yeah, I pretty much bought everything I needed to buy. Because I don't need these at all. These are fucking... I never buy any of these from shops ever, and look at how many I have. I'll buy like 2 of these, just in case for like some reason some servant needs just an ungodly amount. I'll buy 2 of these. I know Kairo's hopefully going to be streaming more nowadays. I'll raid him when I'm done, actually. Let's see. I guess we just upgrade all of our currency and turn them in for QP. Let's see how much we get. I could buy the Embers, but I don't need mana prisms either, so I have no one to level right now. And my second storage is completely full of Embers, so... Let's see how much QP we get out of this. Alright. It's a nice chunk. And we get these 2. That is not a nice chunk. Well, in total, that was a pretty nice blob of QP there. I'll take it. Alright, let's fight the million HP dragon. I think then we'll wrap up, we'll raid Cairo, and then for those that want to, you know, I'll stream Genshin Impact in like 10-20 minutes or whatever. But we'll raid Cairo anyway, because he's our boy, and I figure a lot of people would rather do that than watch Genshin anyway. So, let's see. Wait, that's not the million HP dragon. That is... Lion King, excuse me. Have you tried Canis versus the dragon? I don't think so. Obviously, it's a saber, so that's going to be terrible. And she's a damage cut servant, and damage cut servants do exponentially bad when being counterclassed. But you know what? Fuck it, we'll benchmark it. Do we use Zaw's or mine? Because Zaw's has got like more normal card damage, mine has more MP damage. Hey, Mr. Thank you for the 5-month resub. Jesus, thank you for Twitch Prime. Besides, I suspect Zaw's got command codes on that are good, where I'd have to switch mine around, and I'm too lazy to do that, so. Although I do have better command codes. That's like the one thing. His is better at almost everything except the NP and command codes. So one day he's going to, if they ever rerun the Quetz event, he'll catch up. And then whenever he gets NP5 from like free 4-star tickets or whatever, then he'll really catch up. So he's definitely going to... Like right now we're kind of apples and oranges. But he's going to surpass me. I can't keep up. I'm close though, but... I don't see me giving her the command card boost for a while, right? I think Billy would be next or something like that. I actually might start saving them. Oh my god. Oh, I forgot to bring a Rosh. I'm gonna reset anyway. And now I don't have enough. Okay, I don't want to set chat up and then not do it, so we'll fucking use a goddamn apple. What a bad use of apples. It's not even a main story, man. It's funny. I'll use so many apples to like refight a boss in the main story over and over again for fun, but I don't want to do it for this stuff. Alright, get a Rosh in here. God, the latency is so wonky. I'm not used to having to use my mouse for this stuff. So Atlas is normally good in the long run, but I just don't think we're going to live long enough. So I think we go Anniversary Blonde. Just do what damage we can while we're there. Oh yeah, Arash is an awesome Grail unit. It just expands the range of things he can wipe out. And if you have to use him for normal card damage for a while before the appointed time, you know, he does better, so... And he's also less likely to die before you need him to go boom, things like that. Now that's a hand. You know what sucks? We'd actually rather have a long-term CE now. That is so much NP from our cards that it'd be better to have like Limit Over Zero or Victor from the Moon or God Help Me, the Canis CE, or you know, any one of those more long-term focused things. Now overwhelmingly you normally want to be able to get your NP, you know, right off the bat. But this is, I mean, look at this NP gain. Like look at this. This is so much. So this is one of the few times, yeah, the Yang CE. Yeah, that would be it. Hey, thank you. I am RRNT. I'm sorry, RTN. Excuse me. And there's the Canis CE. Thank you though for the resub for 5 months, and then thank you Canis CE for the gifted sub. I think. Wait, what was that? Yeah, it was gifted. 49 gifted subs. Jesus, thank you. Freaking. And anyway, look at the. Oh my God, we should have had a long-term CE. Look at this. Look at this NP gain. Like, yeah, we could have had like the Yang CE or something like that and still gotten our NP, no problem. And I love Arjuna with the gifted sub deal. Oh, good for Lear. Lear's always hanging out, so that feels good. Thank you, everybody. I really appreciate it. It's nice playing on Samsung decks though, where my UI is like normal. It's great, man. It's not all fucked up and shit. So just do that. Maybe make one extra star. Okay, Canis should not kill that. Doesn't even have a crit chance, yeah, no problem. Arjuna with the 63 gifted subs, by the way. Good lord. 4 bits for this scam train, thanks. Thanks, Gabe. And Finn with the gifted sub, 5 gifted subs. Jesus, guys. Okay, guys, now you're making me feel bad. Now I just feel guilty. Jesus, but thank you, everybody. I really appreciate the support. That's not necessary, folks. Just hang back and lurk. That's the way. Dude, I always feel so guilty when people throw that much subs at me. It's cause it's like peer pressure, right? It's like, oh, they're subbing because other people sub, right? You don't need to do that, lads. All right. We did not make very many stars, but, oh god, this fucking crit spread. And Zerp with the fucking gifted sub to Gabe, though. He deserves it. Thank you, Zerp, but, Jesus, guys. Guys, you can dial it back any second now. Alright, come on, let's get some damage here. Because we're gonna die really fast. We're not crit with that, feels bad. Looks like we got a crit. Honestly, we just did like, I don't know, 160,000 or something. Did Zaw just get Sansoned? He did. What do I do? Let's go for it. His hit count is low, so this might not work out, but we'll try. I'm gonna regret that. Oh, I'm gonna regret that. Yep. The enemy just does not have enough hit count to go for something like that. No way. Damn it. I should have gone for the damage then. Hey, at least she's living a little while, though. I'll take that. I see that command code. Well, certainly better than most Lancers do here, but not the best we've seen. Although she can do better than this. This was not the... Oh god, our guts is gonna wear off, but whatever. I mean, it's like potentially could have cast it one turn later. Actually, Atlas still would have been right. I can't believe it, but I truly didn't think she'd live long enough to for Atlas to be better, but I think Atlas would have done more. Yeah, I mean, I have my stream set to be for mature audiences because I swear like a sailor. Surely you do not think this stream is appropriate for like, you know, Billy Boy and his pop to watch or at dinner, right? It's not. It really is not. So I feel like that's overwhelmingly for the best. The what word? Indeed. Come on, crit. Yeah, there we go. Let's get a little bit of value on the way out. Not bad, not bad. She can do better than that, though. We can get a bit further. Not half bad, though. I think Ku got it to like 800k or something last time I tried him here, something like that. It was pretty wild. Alright boys, I think I'm gonna wrap up there. We're gonna raid Cairo, and then I'm gonna be back though in like 10-20 minutes to play Genshin Impact if people want to hang out for that. But yeah, otherwise we're gonna raid our boy Cairo. Thanks a lot everyone for hanging out and listening to me rant about UI design and you know, assets and resolution and all that nonsense. Yeah, hopefully we can get Samsung Dex working better though, so it can work for all our other accounts, because it's nice, you know, it works. It lets me force the resolution into something reasonable, so that's a big help. I'm probably gonna have to start making my YouTube videos with OBS now instead of Mobazin, which I'm dreading that a lot, but I actually updated my editing program today, which cost, you know, a lot of money, but it's worth it. So it can now recognize like OBS files without crashing, because the really old version of Sony Vegas Pro that I was using would like crash when I'd use OBS stuff, and that was a mess. But now that I can handle OBS files just fine in my editing program, it'll take a little while to get used to though, and I have to get bit rates figured out and all that nonsense, so my YouTube videos might be a little weird for a while. But yeah, it looks like Dex is the way. But yeah, peace out everybody. I have to actually raid Cairo. That's the button I gotta do here. Is it Cairo shoot or shooter? I always forget on Twitch which one of you. I think it's shoot. Yes, it's shoot. I got it. First try. All right, lads. I'll be back in like 20 minutes for those that want to see Genshin Impact, and for everyone else, peace! He changed it? That son of a bitch.